All right, trying to get the live going now. All right, I think we should be good. Can you hear me? Yes.
I can hear you.
It's all that matters, Dustin. It's all that matters.
Exactly. Just me and you.
That's right.
Evan's here is
We got,
twice. Evan,
yeah.
one slot per person. All right.
Looks like one of them failed. It's like stuck connecting to audio. Removing them. Let's see. Oh no, better not. It says he can't rejoin. Putting him in the waiting room. See if that works. Oh, it's still there. We'll have to figure out which one of these isn't good. We'll wait a little bit for some people to hop on. How was your weekend? Or doesn't it feel like early week because of the holiday? Like,
These past couple of weeks have been a mess for me. Like, I'm kind of behind in my queue, and I'm like, oh wait, I guess I'm not really behind because there was holidays, so I'm like exactly where I should be. So yeah, it's been messing me up.
yeah, the days, like my kids are all thrown off because they're like out of routine of school and everything. So like, oh, we got this tomorrow, and I'm like, no, it's like Wednesday. What are you talking about? It's like, no, it's not Saturday like you think it is. All right, I'm gonna share this. Adam Pratt, Adam join. Oh, buddy. See if Tony is gonna join. So quiet with Tony Baker not on here yet.
Ain't that the truth?
Try to share this and then the other group. How's it going, Nick?
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Good. Sit here trying to share this into another group real quick.
Nice. Anyone going to CES this week?
Been a
No,
few
Nick,
times.
I wish I could go to expos like you. Like you don't miss one, bro.
That is true. The only one that I missed was the first Gadget Repair Expo, which apparently was the epic one, and
Ah,
then
they're all
the New
pretty good.
Orleans one. That's about
What was
it.
the first one? Where was the first one at again?
First
Uh,
one was Atlanta. No, not Atlanta. It was
that sounds about right, honestly.
I think it might have been Atlanta. I remember I got dressed up as Dustina in Atlanta and went to the strip club
okay.
in my
So
outfit.
maybe it was
That was
Atlanta. Okay.
yeah.
And you almost died in a car or something.
It
Didn't
was it
Bailey
was
take you on a trip where you had took you down a wrong road or something?
oh yeah. God, I'm trying I know his name's at the top of my head.
Bailey?
Yes.
Right.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. Took me down a one-way road in the middle of Atlanta. I was like, you are the worst.
Perfect.
guidance person ever. GPS.
It's crazy. That's
Ashford
gotta be fun.
commented, he heard me talk about Tony. He goes, "Be careful what you wish for," when I said it was quiet in here.
Oh boy.
Uh, he'll probably hop on soon. You fixing these, Dustin? iPod touches?
Depends
Always,
what's
bro.
wrong with it. I really try not to, but I mean, people pay for it, so yeah.
No
I was the
power.
best caller.
I
Got
had
a
the last one I had was somebody was trying to do a charging port on it and like floated the entire thing.
oh
They
jeez.
really needed the data out of it.
Yeah.
I had to buy a whole new iPod, move, swap the board over.
Yee. Well, I'll message you. This guy he needs stuff off of it, so
Oh, nice.
board work's been pretty much non-existent for me. It's all been component stuff recently. It's crazy.
Yeah. You're doing a lot more board work now though? I mean, I know you said not recently, but
No, like they're just not coming in and doing board stuff. Like
I
people are
got
just
you.
buying different phones and stuff like that. I'm still just rocking. I'll do like the iPad ports or HDMIs, but that's about it. The rest of it's not profitable for my store to do anything like that.
Yeah, that's why we just send it to Dustin.
Yeah. Much easier that way.
That's what I prefer too, man. Just send it all to
Yeah.
me.
That's right.
You deal
Yeah,
with that
right.
stuff, I'll deal with the screen repairs.
That's perfect. That works for me. Look at Adam doing repairs. Like this is his first day doing repairs, actually. Maybe his second.
It's my first day.
No, he's ripping it, man. He's taking Best Buy for a ride. No, he's good. He's getting it.
Every time I'm in Best Buy and I see somebody bringing their computer, I like really have to stop myself from being like, you could just go to somebody's so much better. I'm
I
like,
think
good luck, man.
so.
Bro, Best Buy's been eclipsing GameStop. So shit.
Yee.
You know, you know.
What's
The
up,
tri
everybody?
So
Uh,
Ben, no safe behind you anymore.
No, I'm in the front area right now.
Man, I
I
hear you're
figured
getting a
I'd give you
Tesla.
guys a better view. What happened?
I say I hear you're getting a Tesla.
Who said that?
No, Jeff did, but this was a couple of weeks ago. I think he was just making
No,
fun of you because he bought that. What was it, a Polestar or something
The
like that?
Polestar.
Polestar. Yeah, I just sold it actually.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Did you lose money on it or?
you lose money if anytime you sell a car, but honestly, not as much as I thought I was going to. Not as much as I would have if I waited like a year.
What are you
Cool.
driving
How long?
now?
Driving my grandpa's car, a 2015 Hyundai Tucson, because he stopped driving and he wanted someone to take over his payments, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it.
How long did you have the other car?
Jeez, I don't know, like 6 months.
Longer than I.
Yeah.
Dustin kind of made it sound like you only had it for like a week or something, maybe.
Bad to be trading in a car or selling it after you buy it.
It's pretty
I was like,
bad.
I
I
bought
just
my.
got tired of the whole electric thing. I mean, they're really cool and they're really fun to drive, but I drive too much to have to charge all the time.
Gotcha.
What was your range like?
250
Go.
miles.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
And
That'll
that
like a
was
work.
the
week's
long
worth of
range.
driving.
Man, I only go to UPS and back, or I think
I
I
was
do,
gonna
but
say,
I drive way more than that. Like, going here and going here just randomly.
I like to
maybe
go on
200
like
a
pleasure
week.
drives. I'll just like go drive for the hell of it. So it's not really a good car for that because
How old are you, Ben?
21.
Okay. I remember I was like that when I was like 17 or 18. I first got my license. I'm like, I want to just drive. But now I'm like, I really don't want to. I was like, let's go to Tampa. And I'm like, I don't want to spend an hour in the car.
Oh, I don't want to drive far. I'll just like I live right by St. Augustine, so I'll go drive to like downtown St. Augustine and go hang out for a little bit.
I got you. Tony, you can't have your name as Tony the Goat. Come on, man.
Come on, man. That's the new me.
You know, that's what happens like when you start naming yourself the GOAT. That's like the right before your downfall. Look at Oleg King. He did it, and then right as soon as he did it, whoosh.
I wasn't gonna say it, but thank you, Dustin.
Fucking A.
I'm sorry, I have to troll Tony at least once on a call at least.
You see, I didn't have no comeback to that, right?
I mean, when you're at your stature, do you really even need a comeback?
Yeah.
No. I see my kill him softly, man. I don't reply.
He'll just look down on you from his penthouse suite.
No, man. I'm on vacation.
Where are you at?
I'm in New Orleans, bro. Where all the
no
shit
shit?
just went down.
Did you go to the game?
No, man. The city is crazy right now with that shit that just happened.
I was about to ask, what's
That's
it
right.
like over there right now?
Man, it's fucking like we got here on the 31st and went out, and then it happened like early morning. I stayed in downtown, so I stayed not far away from that's where I'm staying at, not far away from what happened. And we drove in yesterday to Canal Street. Man, they got the whole Canal Street Bourbon area shut down.
I heard it reopened today.
Yeah, I was about to say they were supposed to reopen it yesterday at like 2 or something.
They put barcades and they put trucks and stuff like that too. So pretty much, Canal is going straight down, and then you got like Bourbon streets and other streets are crossing. All the crossing streets are being blocked with no cars allowed to go in, but the Canal Street is open.
Yeah. All right.
Sad though. It's sad. Like the city is going through some shit right now, but it is what it is.
It is sad, dude. I mean, I think not only the city, I'm not downplaying the city, but I think everybody's kind of feeling it, especially with that. And then right after Vegas, I mean, that's
Yeah.
people are
Well,
awful, man.
Man, I don't know. It just gets to that point where I don't think of I kind of follow something like that I've been follow for quite a while is I don't think about and I don't talk about anything that I cannot change. That's my mentality. Like I don't talk about anything that I can't change, and I don't think about anything that I can't control. You know what I mean? So that kind of gives me more of a peace of mind to myself where you
I have
can't
too much
change.
anxiety for all that. I
Huh?
only
Think
concentrate
about
on things I can't change. I'm over here overthinking every little scenario on every
well,
different thing.
because
Well,
I
who
had
wouldn't think
anxiety.
about it if you don't overthink?
During COVID, I had anxiety. We got like real busy at work, and we got like overwhelmed, like 10 times busier than the normal. You know what I mean? Like you're doing thousands of orders a day, and like all of a sudden, right? So I kind of fell into the loop where I'm at, up at 7 in the morning, go home, and then head back to the warehouse until 3 o'clock in the morning. I've done that for like a couple of years, and that burns me out. You know, the message that everybody started sharing at one point in time where, a cell phone shop owner go through, whoever started that and started sharing it, it makes sense. I didn't want to share it because I don't really discuss my, personal life online, but it really is tough, but, and I just went to a stage where, you know what? Why the fuck am I thinking about something that I cannot control? You know what I mean? Like, why do I give it any time of the day in my brain to discuss or even talk about something? My theory is my theory. Yeah, my theory is all this shit is bullshit. It's got something to do with electric cars and it's just controlled by someone else. But that's just my theory, and I don't discuss.
Do you think it's controlled by electric cars? Let's see if how long I can make
It's
you
not
talk about
controlled
something you
by
can't
electric
change.
cars. It's controlled by someone where the two cars were rented from the same app, and the F-150 was electric,
Yeah.
and the Tesla was electric. And if the F-150 was not electric, it would not go 0 to 60 in zero time. And the distance at Bourbon is so small, so tight. So the car went fucking flew. That's the only way to get as many as killed as possible in a short
But no,
amount of time.
my question was, do you think like they were trying to make a statement with them both being electric cars, or do you think that was just like because it was fast?
Yeah, well, it's multiple statements. One is a statement that this guy is a Muslim. One, and he just converted to I'm Muslim, bro. I am a Muslim person, and it's sad to see what they do to, to shame the name of religion, man. It just sad. That's why I don't really think about it. You know what I mean? So I am a Muslim. This guy is an American, 100% blood American that
From Texas.
converted. That converted. You know what I mean? You don't look. I watch a lot of movies, and 99.9% of these fucking movies are real. You know what I mean? Whoever says that these movies are not real, they're real, man. And this is just a fucking another movie, man. Just
We
another
live in a
movie.
movie, bro. This is a movie.
It is that we live in a movie, and literally, like, but unfortunately, I think a lot of the large amount of Americans in 2024 and 2025 stopped falling for the shit. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people changed the mentality from 2001 when the 9/11 happened. We got social media, we got I got bullied back in 2001, and I was in a city where there was no Muslims around. But you gotta excuse them because they listen to media. Now you have TikTok, you have Instagram, you have social media, you have videos. Everybody got a news station carrying around, so you can't really fuck around with it. You know what I mean? But it's just sad for the innocent people that had to die for someone to make a movie.
We're gonna get to the
Or-
bullet points where it's like, Tony, if you get off of the topic to this point, we're just gonna slap you right back on. But
No,
yeah,
but
I hear
I'm
what
out
you're
of it.
saying.
I don't talk about it, but I had to just get it off my chest.
But the guy, going back to that topic, which I was just telling you was off topic. The guy in Vegas was not Muslim though. I mean, he was active military army special forces. I mean, that's as red-blooded American as you can get to do something like that. So it's weird that I don't know.
Well,
It
let
just
me
doesn't
ask you
make
a
sense.
question: Is the guy in New Orleans really a Muslim?
No, he was American too. Like, I mean,
You really a Muslim? Like
but
what?
at the same time, the
What
guy
better?
in New Orleans, he had an ISIS flag on the back of his truck. I mean, he was trying to make a
Yeah,
statement.
does that
was
make him a
clear.
Muslim though? Does that make him a Muslim? Is ISIS really a
No, I'm
Muslim
not.
people?
No, I'm not saying that made him a Muslim. I mean, I just like. Never mind. I'm gonna get on to like
No. The question.
social.
No.
I'm gonna be blacklisted tomorrow if I keep going. But
No, right? No. What I'm trying. No. What I'm trying to say. If I carry a KKK flag right now, does that make me like? I'm just
white?
trying to. Yeah, or no, not white, like a racist, whatever. But
I think so. Yeah, I think I don't think it matters what nationality you are. If you're carrying around a KKK flag, I think you're racist just in principle at that point.
well, if I was, let me ask you a question: if I was forced to carry that flag,
Hold on. So now you think the guy in New Orleans was forced to put the flag, or do you
have
think
we
he was just
watched movies?
influenced?
Have we watched enough movies where they're gonna say we have your kids, we're gonna do this to them?
So
And
that's
we're gonna do
what that's a fair point, and that's kind of what I was thinking too. Not with the guy in New Orleans, but with the guy maybe in Vegas, because I mean the guy's on leave from Germany, right? He's like active military. So I just can't imagine a scenario where you're like, okay, I'm going to leave Germany and then I'm going to go do a terrorist act on this in the country that I'm sworn to defend. I mean, don't get me wrong, things could have happened. I don't know about his personal life, but I feel like the police. Well, that's the first thing they investigate. Is they go to the wife. They say, "Hey, is there anything going on?"
Before we go deep into this subject, and I don't want to go, guys. I love money and I love women, so let's get off this subject. I am Muslim. Dustin. I am Muslim, and I'm on a fucking video, and we're talking about this shit, bro. If I disappear, I'm gonna fuck you up.
Oh, sorry.
I love women and I love money.
Tony's like on his Facebook, he
Yeah.
posts, he's like, I love America.
I do. The funny part about it, we were in a prayer. Today's Friday. We have Sunday for you. So the guy, the preacher, if you want to call it, the imam, was really saying some valid points. Like we love this country. We came here. They gave us the rights that we couldn't find in our own country, and that's how I am, and that's how I think about it. This country is there's something where your country is the place where you feel like it's home. You know what I mean? And I feel like I'm home. You know what I mean? And that's my country. I defend it. I stand by it. I really do. I love America. I love the country. I love its people. I feel bad for some who follow the media, but overall, you can't discuss a conversation with someone that fucking televised by TV. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't discuss it. That's why we talk about
We're just
money, and that's
discussing
why
it
I'm
for
the
10
GOAT,
minutes.
and that's why I talk women. I love women. We get to
All
marry
right.
4 of them. We get to marry 4.
All right, so back to the
Awesome, Tony, to
topic.
go. So let's focus on. I mean, it started to seem like we were in an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting for you, Tony. You know, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. You know,
Hallelujah.
the courage to change the things I can.
I don't know what they got in this. I don't know what they got in this.
So I appreciate Josh for setting the topic today regarding or around goals. I think it's especially moving into 2025, setting the stage, having a good conversation just around goals and goal setting. And I don't know about you guys, but for me personally, there's normally two different types of goal classification that I use for myself. The first one is BHAG. For those that don't know what that stands for, it's a big, hairy, audacious goal. That is think of that as like your long-term visionary goal. It feels almost out of reach. It's very inspiring. It's motivating to individuals. It allows you and your team to think bigger than, what you're going to accomplish over the next, 60, 90 days, up to 1 year. And then the other goal that I use for framework is SMART goals. So again, for those that don't know, that's specific. It has to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Now, those are designed for clarity and focus, mostly around short to medium long term objectives. And I know usually what I do is I will start by looking at our 3 year target and say, in the next 3 years, is this where I want myself to be as a person, as a husband, as somebody operating a business? Is this what I want to see for my team? Like that is, the questions that I ask myself. And if it's still in alignment with where I'm going or where I want to go, then I keep it the same. If not, then I change it. Um, and especially when it comes to setting, an annual target. One of the things that I was looking at was my 3 year goal on figuring out, okay, by 2026, we wanted to be at, I don't know, $3 million, $3 to $4 million, having, 3 locations, doing X, Y, and Z. Is that still something that is what I aspire? Is that scary enough? Is that something that's motivating, but also something that seems like it's out of reach? And then, once I was like, well, fuck yeah, I want to be at $3 million. I want to be at $4 million. So, okay, now let's backtrack. What do I have to do over the next 12 months to make that successful? And then that's where I start diving into my SMART goals. And I always like to think of, I like analogies. Um, and I like visualizing things. It's how I'm able to comprehend it. But I like to think of my BHAG as like a train, the engine, right? So the engine is what's, really driving you forward. And then you got the cabinets in the back, the caboose, those are your SMART goals. Those are the activities that are going to help feed into the engine that it's pulling. And so, one of the areas for the SMART goals that I was looking at for myself, at least, was, figuring out where I wanted to be at the end of 2025, for the business. I think we landed on $2 million. I don't necessarily, obviously, I want to grow. And I posted this in the group if anybody was in North Carolina, that was looking to sell. I'm not against growing. And if we acquire another location, we can, easily surpass that $2 million mark, no problem.
I hate to
Um,
interrupt you. I just have a question. Where are you currently at? Where'd you end 2024 with?
so I was pissed. So we ended up about $50,000 shy of 1.6
Wow.
with 2 locations. And so I was no kidding, $50,000 away from 1.6. And yesterday, when I got back off of New Year's break, that I had a $50,000 deal in the pipeline that I was waiting to close, and he came in today and handed me a check. I was pissed. And so
So,
I was like, "Are you
so
kidding me?" But I mean, it's exciting because it's it's coming into this year, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it's like, "Oh, are you kidding me?"
so
But yeah,
really 2 million isn't far-fetched for you, right?
no, it's
It's a
no,
very reasonable goal to achieve.
it definitely is. And it's something that all of our success is definitely contributing to the team that we have behind us, and people like yourself, Dustin, that we're able to ship off devices to when it's something that's outside of our technician scope. Um, And heck, I might even set the goal to even higher than 2 million, because there's things that we are looking at doing this year, like partnering with a lot of big manufacturers to help handle their warranty work. Why ship off to Dell when you could have, bring it to us and we can work on it. We partnered with a third party data recovery company, Gilware, to where we're one of the only repair shops that have their software inside of our store to be able to run recovery. Of course, that doesn't include opening the device. Um, so there are, strategic items that we have put into place, or we're putting into place, to help us achieve that. We're actually looking at possibly acquiring another business this earlier this year if we can get everything to work out. That'll definitely help launch us forward. But yeah, it's I love goals. I love goal setting. I think it's, something that everybody needs to take a look at. And honestly, a lot of the people in the group, I honestly feel like that we each person needs to set a goal to stop working on devices. And I know, Dustin, like that's what you do, that's your business.
The only thing I do.
Um that's the only thing you do. But for those that are like that own a store or a shop, your goal should be to stop working on devices. Like if you're throwing out there into the world, like, hey, I'm a business owner, but you're also still the one that's doing the work and not growing the business. Because I do I work with B2B companies, and it's a true statement when I say, if you're not growing, you're dying. Right after, yeah, it's only the third, and I lost 4 customers because they closed their doors at the end of the year. I lost, a or like a rec company, a huge retail company in our area, a real estate firm that closed, and then there was another one, a gas company went out of business. And it made me sit there and think, like, what would happen if I were to stop and just become stagnant? Where would the business end up? Where would I end up? Where would my family end up? Where would my team end up? And it got me thinking about everybody that I see in the group. They're like, yeah, I want to grow, I want to get bigger, but yet they're not necessarily doing the activities that it takes to get there. And so when Josh was talking about goals, I felt like it was a great opportunity just to take a step back away from the mundane day-to-day grind, and get up here and talk about it, and have a great conversation around it. I think it's fantastic to do this, especially around peers, um, and to kind of throw it out there, like, hey, this is what we're going to accomplish. This is how we're going to fucking rock 2025.
Your goals are way better than mine. My goals are like, don't piss off CPRST and don't go out of business.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. I'm really happy for you. That's crazy. I mean, I didn't understand what you mean by stop working on devices, but you meant like you as a business owner to actually stop being the one to touch them and have your employees do it.
Yeah, working on doing more activities like working on the business versus working in the business.
That should be every person's goal, like
I feel
you
like
said.
that's what Benjamin Rosso teaches is like, SOPs and the ability to like kind of have hands off and have your employees run the business type of thing, which is
Yeah.
something I would love to do. I don't know how, like Jesse Cruz, he has an employee now, and you have like Jessa Jones, who has a team of people that, work under her. It's just, that takes a lot of, I don't know, patience maybe. I
Yeah.
can't train them either.
A lot
So
of trust.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think trust is the biggest denominator in any scenario in this industry or any type of service industry, right? Where, people are trusting you with something expensive that's controlling their lives, whether it's their HVAC system, whether it's their phone, whether it's their plumbing, right? Like they're trusting you, so that's why they come to you in the first place. So if
Yeah.
you to put that trust in somebody else's hands, even though you train them, doesn't mean that they're going to follow the same ethics or anything that you stand for. And it's hard to kind of, I can see it as a business owner of like letting that go, right? Like handing that baton off to that person to do it. And it takes the right employees, right? It's not going to be every employee who walks
Well,
through the door is somebody you can do it with, right?
it's scary. I mean, look at, I'm not going to say his name, but there was one micro soldering technician in the groups that, had, I wouldn't say great, but a solid reputation. People started recommending him more and more. And at one point, he kind of handed off his B2B or his Facebook account to his employee. And then that lasted, I want to say 2 or 3 months. And then he just started getting, you saw post after post in CPRST about like, hey, he's not returning my stuff. Like now he wants a bench fee just to return no fixes, etc. And I mean, it kind of ruined his reputation. And if you talk to him directly, he's like, dude, I've been out sick or whatever the thing is my employee's been doing all of this. And I mean, simply one employee can ruin your reputation over the course of a week or even a month.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's very scary, like you were saying.
Yeah, it definitely is. And like having that trust it's probably one of the hardest things that even today I struggle with being able to pass things off to people. Um, because for one, I know how to do it the fastest. I know how to do it and with the best service that I can provide to people. And being able to pass that off, it's definitely a scary thing. It really is. But then I got to thinking, but one of the things that I keep thinking of is, if I can't trust this individual, then why did I hire them? If I can't trust them to handle this task, why did I hire them? And one of the things that we've started doing recently was I don't know if you guys are familiar with Scribe, but it pretty much records your screen. It does like a step-by-step process. You can go in and edit it for SOPs. Um, our SOPs, we've always documented things, but we've started getting a lot better recently to where, if somebody asks a question and somebody else knows an answer to it, they're going to generate an SOP, throw it in our SharePoint, send it over to them, and hey, go ahead and look over this first. If you have any questions, ask. That way, if you get hit by a bus, the train keeps moving.
I think that's the biggest piece most people, you know, do miss. And obviously, Dustin, or like somebody like you guys who are a little bit more specialized in what you're doing. You're not just fixing iPad screens, selling accessories, stuff like that. So it's not like, somebody can kind of come in and fill in. It's a little harder for those, and that's what makes it trickier. And I think that's what almost makes it, I wouldn't say impossible, but right, it's not something to me, something I learned from somebody a long time ago was in your business if you're not building something that, somebody can buy, like that you can't build
Mm.
something off of yourself, right? Like you can't go sell yourself to somebody. So if like your business relies on you, nobody is going to buy that business. If your long-term goal is to build something worth of money and sell it, nobody's going to buy that, right? Like
Or
it's
you can't
because
retire either.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. It's reliant on you to run. And even
It's
if you
not
get employees in
replicatable.
there, yep, there you go. So that's one thing I've always seen, people kind of underestimate that, they think, oh, because I have customers, I have reviews, I have inventory, that this business is worth money. But at the end of the day, the business is worth same on paper as anything else. Like it requires somebody there that knows what they're talking about, somebody who's going to be trustworthy to the customers to continue that business. Somebody can go in there and buy that business for $50,000 and that business could be doing 100,000 a month and they can get 20,000 a month there on after because they don't know how to run the business like the previous person in there who built it. I mean, it
Yeah.
happens all the time, in
Mm.
acquisitions. If any of you were around when E-Tech Parts got bought by, a big private equity firm, that's what
Oh,
happened.
That was
E-Tech was
awful.
a great company. They got bought by a private equity firm who had zero experience or knowledge of the industry, and they literally ran them into the ground with terrible ideas, thinking they knew what to do as a private equity firm. And they destroyed what E-Tech spent years building in a matter of like a year, maybe
They had like
less.
the
It was
Yeah.
best iPad
insane.
screens. I mean,
Yeah.
the quality on their iPad screens was
The
unparalleled.
IBIX, yeah.
Yes. And I remember at one point after they got bought out with eTech, that they would send like our people would RMA them screens and then they would send them on to the next person. You know, people
Yeah,
accuse
yeah.
mobile centrics of doing that. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen with mobile centrics, but it's definitely not intentional. With eTech
No.
at the end there, I felt like it was intentional. They just didn't care.
No, 100%. They were just pushing product around to kind of keep it afloat, right? Like they were just bleeding money and they were doing whatever they could to just kind of keep people happy for as long as they could, just to keep the pyramid scheme going, essentially is what it was at the end. But yeah, I mean, it's going to happen. It's happened. We've seen the post, but I mean, again, like you said, it's not intentional. They're not doing it on purpose. Somebody makes a mistake, puts it in a wrong pile. It's literally all it takes. And then somebody's like, oh yeah, this goes back to shelf. This was just, pulled off. There's just so much going on in places like that that it's easy to mistake stuff, but it's another topic.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, but you can't, I mean, not to complain about CPRST, but at the same time, I mean, they get mad when FedEx doesn't overnight their, you know what I mean? So it's like it's a very hard group of people to please.
That's why I
And
said today on that like two posts that people are complaining about overnights. It's like you should never, in any circumstance, ever tell a customer that even though you're paying for overnight, that it's going to be here tomorrow. Like
yes.
I don't even trust any carrier for 2 days most of the time just to be safe. Like even if it's
You know what's
overnight,
so crazy?
best case 2 days.
It's all about setting
People,
proper expectations to your customer. I mean, you
Yeah,
can mention like, hey, we're going to overnight it, but you know how FedEx is, you know how
yeah,
UPS is. Like,
yeah.
there's no guarantee, right?
And every person that buys off Amazon or anywhere online now, they know that stuff happens with these carriers, right? Like these people experience it themselves. So it's not like they're not going to understand it, right? So that's why I don't
Well, the problem
understand
with
why.
that though, Josh, is like when you order from Amazon, it tells you when it's 3 doors away. You know, you have that level of instant gratification, I'll say. So it's like when you go to a store and you're like, hey, and the store tells you, hey, we can have this
Yeah.
overnighted, and it's not there at 5 o'clock. You're like, hey, you promised, etc. You
Yep.
know that, but I mean, I can see their frustration, but it's all
Yeah.
about if you have an angry client in front of you, you're frustrated. But if you just tell the client like, hey, I can overnight it, but who knows, especially during the holidays. I mean, I had a client send me a rush data job on an iMac. He sent it Monday. He overnighted it Monday. UPS was closed or the access point was closed Tuesday and Wednesday. They didn't pick it up till Thursday and it just arrived today. And I
Yep.
mean, luckily that client was like, they took my money, that's for sure, but it's not your fault.
Exactly. What were you going to
Oh,
say,
you mean
Tony?
it's not done yet?
It
Yeah.
actually is, thankfully. But
Oh,
well, it's 2025, so I think people should be more understanding. I think the group, as much as there is so much
I'll never
drama,
happen.
the group actually makes a lot of some of these FedEx, like back in the days. I remember there was a guy that kind of whined and went on the group and bashed me for $7 ground shipping because it was late one day. That was like back in 2019 or 18. But I think everyone is at a point right now where it delays. I think a lot of the people that complains or um talk shit, I think they just want attention more than they're actually mad about the box being late. So it's no longer like it was. Like you don't have that many large amount of people that complain because the feedback that they get is not what they want to hear. Like nobody's is telling them, yeah, screw mobile centrics or whatever. They don't get that anymore. So the complaints are less. But like Dustin says, man, it's all the carriers have that issue right now, and it's a known thing. That's why we give our customers 3 to 5 business days, and we have it on the receipt, and we have it um on a big poster in the store. All the order parts are non-refundable, because we are freezing whether $100 or $300 worth of part of our money frozen until there's a defect or there's a wrong part. So we're not refunding anything because we've done that in the past. And what we end up doing is, you know, us owning multiple locations, you're ending up with a technician that doesn't care about refunding in the part who works for you, but you're coming there once every 6 months or once a year and you're just have extra time on your hand and you're going through some shit and you realize, hey man, there's a Mac screen that costed me $300 sitting on the side that arrived defected. And we gave the customer the refund, but my technician never sent it back. So you're realizing like, damn, there's $3,000-4,000 that just sitting around and we lost that money. So if we don't refund the customer, I think that gives us that gives us more attention to worry about the situation and not let it go through, without
Well,
without
that's
taking
just
care of
counting
it.
on your customer to harass your employees. You know what I mean?
Pretty much,
If you
pretty
had
much.
an SOP in process or in line there, I mean, you should just be returning the defective parts right as they happen. And
When
correct me
you
if I'm
have when
wrong,
you
but you
have
want to
14
return them as quick as
locations, yeah,
yeah.
it
Well, I
works
mean,
when you're
each
managing
location though is
everything
like a
left.
franchise though, right? Like you have your own,
Well,
the
no, we
owner,
still
their
own and
own.
operate. No, we still own and operate 6 of them.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yep, yep. And you have one or two locations that has micro soldering technicians, and every other location is a sales guy and a like a basic technician. I think right now is so easy to call everyone a technician because slapping iPhone screens is not really major. You know what I mean? I really think that the only people that deserve to be called technicians are the ones that like you know do hardware like micro soldering, chips and stuff like that, or even like charging ports and stuff like that. But the screens are not really as complicated as it was in the past, to my knowledge. I mean, I haven't touched the screen in a
I would
while.
agree and disagree. Like you have the guys that like just can do a screen replacement or a battery replacement and that's it. But then you also have technicians that maybe don't do micro soldering, but they can diagnose down to the board accurately. And I feel like that's something that's missed a lot in the people that own shops or are like, owner operator. Whereas they know how to do simple repairs, but when it comes to like let's give you an example, a 3 minute restart, that takes just a little bit more of the ability to diagnose. And a lot of shops can't do that. And you can tell that from, CPRST or these other groups where people are constantly asking, hey, this phone's restarting. What does this mean? And so I would, I wouldn't say you're not a technician if you can't micro solder, but I would say, it takes a little bit. If you're able to diagnose kind of more in depth, then I would call you a technician. But
Yeah.
Repair Wiki, by the way, if you listening and you don't know how to read panic logs, Repair Wiki, Jesse has a whole thing written up on how you can read the panic log and it'll tell you what's wrong with it depending on what it says, etc. So you shouldn't be asking why is this phone restarting on Facebook because there's a whole website dedicated to just that, essentially, or a page on this website anyway.
Sadly, I
I
feel
think the
like a lot of
group the
people don't
group
know about that
yeah.
that site.
That's why I was just plugging it real quick. It's not even my site, but it's a wonderful resource to have. Adam, you're on mute.
Yeah, but I
They
could
just
just
want
ask
someone
them
else to
to.
do it for them, bro. They're lazy, bro.
What's up,
They
Josh?
could Google it. They could Google it themselves, bro, or they could figure it out themselves. But like, they just want someone else to do it for them. And Jesse Cruz is too nice. He always responds, so they know he'll respond. That's why they do it every time.
Well, Jesse now charges, I think it's like $5-10 to respond to a panic log question.
That's smart. Just do a copy paste to his fucking diagram or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's what I was gonna say.
That's what he does. When they pay him the $5 or $10, he like screenshots the part where it's the issue from his website and forward him that. I mean, he's not trying to
Bro,
take your money. He wants you to do it yourself. But if you're not going to, he's like, hey, at least pay me a little bit to do it.
you could literally write AI to do that for him and just like have it running on its own.
Like a bot, yeah, his chat
A
bot,
lot.
yeah.
I mean, how hard would that to be? I mean, just post a couple.
There's some WhatsApp groups out there that has like a lot of cell phone guys, so cell phones or even flippers that there's like WhatsApp groups out there you can join, and I think they're more responsive than the
The
group
problem with
or
the
maybe
WhatsApp
less.
group or those
Huh?
type of groups is you wake up. The problem with those WhatsApp groups is you wake up to 1,000 text messages. And it's just like feeding through what's important and what's not is just, it's a nightmare. I left all of the WhatsApp groups I was in. I mean, I'm
I
in
went off on
Facebook
them.
and a couple of
I went
messengers.
off on them one time. I went off on them one time, and they kicked me out. I'm like, It's 3 o'clock in the morning, and you guys are like boom, 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 and I'm like, come on, man, you guys, it's fucking Saturday, 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's just yeah, I muted all of them, to be honest with you. I just muted. I every now and then I just shoot a blast of anything that comes through for people that flip stuff, but it works. I mean, it's more advertisement, but I muted every single one of them. So while I'm here, I wanted to I guess you guys are talking about goals, and I wanted to say one thing that's going to be changing in the moving forward at GSM Warehouse. So a lot of people who has been buying from us know that um we offer discounts every now and then to people. So what we decided to do moving forward is we're actually going to offer the discount to everyone. So our website, GSM Warehouse, will have pretty much the lowest prices that there is. So you don't even have to ask a discount to receive a discount. The discounted price are going to be listed online. We're just going to set up a set margin of profit on the devices, and you no longer have to get 3% off to get a discount. That 3% or even more will be automatically applied to all the devices. We are going to move forward with this. We realize that I guess it's just easier to. A lot of people who don't know that we offer a discount go to our website and probably see like it's a couple of dollars extra than the other guy, and they just don't buy. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to pretty much be the cheapest in the market and have those cheapest prices listed online. You're no longer going to be needing any discount codes or anything like that. We removed all that from GSM Warehouse starting the first of the month, and we set all the prices down to the lowest possible that we could on the models. So a lot of that will be changing. You will see competitive prices. We are adding A grade devices on there, like pure A. Check out our grading scale. So we're gonna move more volume and have lower prices on everything.
Tony, what
Now,
was
are
the
you going to
goal there?
be doing a? Are you going to be offering any sort of program that, based off of volume purchased, will give
Well,
them
well,
a?
it
Yeah,
wouldn't
go
be
ahead.
it wouldn't be there anymore. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna offer the volume discount. What we're gonna offer the volume discount to everyone. Well, the goal is, Dustin, is for us to move more volume, like to get more of South America's, the islands. Since we've done that, we've been testing that on the back end. And since we've done that, we've got transactions of $100,000 and up per person. So
Nice.
those are the customers that we were missing on because they were just seeing the higher price and they were just skipping reaching out. So since we've done that, we've got customers who, wire $200,000-300,000, instantly with the lowest prices displayed, and that changed massively on the inventory, the quantity that we're selling, and we're earning more new customers, and we're more international.
I think that that's definitely going to be highly leveraged by a lot of shops. I know at least for mine it will be. We were using GSM for a little bit, but
Yep.
to be honest with you, we moved away and started doing back market wholesale because we just were
Yep.
able to get better prices from there. But yeah, I'm definitely
Yeah,
looking
because
forward to that.
if you're buying small portions and you want cheaper prices, that benefits you. And that by us taking that route, we're giving store owners who buy 5, 3, 10, 20 devices the advantage and the privilege of having the discount instantly. You don't even have to ask for it. You are going to get the same discount as someone who is ordering 3 to 500 devices, which works.
Honorable mention, back market refurbished devices are some of the most horrendous things I have ever seen on the planet.
Trash.
So
I
to a
personally have not
degree,
seen.
when you order from someone reputable like Tony, even though the cost might be a little bit higher, I feel like it's worth it getting that peace of mind that, you're not buying from whatever wholesaler happens to be the lowest price on back market that day. You're getting from Tony the goat.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, thank. I
Please
mean,
don't feed into
and
his
now
ego.
it's
He
not even
clearly
gonna
gets
be
extra
no
coupon
more.
codes.
Yeah. Well, that's the best part about it, Adam and Ben. There is no more coupon code. You're actually gonna get the
Yeah,
lowest prices
yeah,
than the
I
back
understand, bro. That
market
was just a
with
joke.
the customer service that you're usually getting. So that's the plan.
I personally source all my sale devices through local buybacks and auctions and stuff like that. But if I was in the position, and one day I might be, where I would rather prioritize, consistency over searching for those better deals, I would say if I was gonna buy from a wholesaler, it would be Tony hands down because,
Appreciate it.
consistency is important, but I have the time to search through things and to refurbish local buybacks and make that little bit of extra money. But when the business grows and, that's not what I want to waste my time with,
Have you never
there you
bought
go.
from Matt Leonard? I mean, I hear he does great business.
If
No, you know what? On
I
that,
ever need
somebody
any
posted
MDM iPads, I will.
when Josh posted on the CPRST with Leonard's picture. By the way, that was a great Photoshop by Jay. Somebody had asked like, "Who's this?" I'm like, "You got to be kidding me! It's
Yeah.
not been that long to not
Yep.
know who Leonard is."
Yeah.
Was
I was
that the
like,
highest commented post ever on the group?
No, he has bad taco posts that people just comment and trash him on the regular.
no, I want to say it was one of I would say from what I can remember, it's one of the top posts, that original one that Jade made. But I want to say the one with Raul and the back glass thing was the biggest one that we ever had in CPRST, at least from what I can remember. I mean,
That was before my time.
I think it closed in on like 700 to 800 comments, maybe. I could be wrong, but I know like Matt's was like 400 to
No, the
500. It
white
was
rice.
I
close.
No,
thought
wait, the
Matt was
white
up in
rice
the
hit
700
1,000.
range. Yeah, I was
No,
thinking Matt was real high up there.
No, the white rice did 1,000 comments.
Oh,
Oh,
the Ben one, Ben.
no,
Yeah,
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 the
yeah.
Ben
That
that was
did. That
Lauren, but
reached
was actually
1,000.
fucking Joshua Merritt. Oh my goodness, that's a whole. You could have a whole series of CPRST news episodes just based off that bullshit, right? I mean,
Hey,
first you have Lauren Sanchez complaining about Ben. What was his last name? Ben Kelly.
Big
And
Kelly, yeah.
apparently, Ben Kelly sent a bunch of Ben's rice to Lauren Sanchez in lieu of cash. Right. So, and then Lauren's in mine DMs. She's in Matt Leonard's DMs. I mean, she's in everybody's DMs, like complaining about this. And at the time, Lauren's still kind of new, so we didn't know we could trust her, etc. But anyway, Ben admitted that he sent Ben's rice, and he was essentially like, I don't remember the reasoning for it, but he's like, "Fuck that bitch," right? So then, then it comes out to like a month or two later, Lauren Sanchez is actually Joshua Merritt, who's a known scammer in the group. I'm like,
It
you
was
can't
a
make this
lot
shit up.
longer than that. It was like
a
probably
year,
closer
I
to a
feel like.
year.
Was it a year?
Yes.
Oh man, time flies when you're working, I
Joshua
guess.
Merritt put some fucking work into that.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Like
social
when somebody said it
engineering.
wasn't Lawrence, when somebody said it wasn't Lawrence Sanchez, I didn't believe it. Like, and then I contacted the real Lawrence Sanchez, and I think she's like a bookkeeper or something like that, like just some random field.
Wow.
And she was like, "No,
He was
somebody's
a
using my
baker.
Facebook pictures and all that." Oh wow, it was crazy.
Yeah, that's like a whole like, can of worms.
Facebook memory. Hello.
Yeah.
Good
So I
times
know that
though.
we keep on
my
going
speaker
off.
went out. I can't hear you guys. But I
That's
gotta get
okay,
my
Tony. We're
haircut.
just
I'll see
talking
you
about
guys.
you.
Bye,
All right,
Tony.
bye.
All right,
See
bye,
ya.
Tony.
Happy New Year's to everyone.
Happy
Happy
New
New
Year's
Send
to
that
you.
Year.
Send that Venmo.
You should get it fixed,
So,
Tony.
so to realign and kind of bring the conversation a little bit
Yes.
towards goals, when it comes to goal setting, I think it is essential to start by reflecting on what success truly means to you and what you're looking to achieve in life. Not everybody is wanting to be, at 100,000 stores. Not every, maybe somebody wants to be a single, owner operator. And who are we to necessarily fault them for that? I know I just said earlier, like, hey, if you're not growing, you're dying. Like, that's the truth. But realistically, when it comes to goals, you don't just want to have it be something that you tick a box. They're mostly about aligning your actions with your values, your aspirations, the vision that you have for your own future. If you think success is, earning $100,000 and spending good quality time with your family, have at it. Like, who am I to fault you for that? Um, whether it's small, actionable steps or, bold, ambitious dreams, understanding your definition of success, I feel like helps lay the foundation for meaningful and obtainable goals. And so really kind of to help keep us a little bit on topic, I'd really like for us to have a discussion around that and, really talk about, what is the most important goal that you want to achieve right now in 2025? And, what is the most important goal that you want to achieve right now in 2025? Why is this goal meaningful to you? And is this goal specific enough for you to take actionable steps tomorrow?
I like
So
that.
I'd like for us to start
Well,
there.
so
So
I'll start.
okay, go ahead,
Go
Josh.
ahead, Josh. Actually, no, go ahead, Josh. You
No,
haven't talked this
I
whole
just
time.
I want to introduce myself. I'm Josh Lewis. I have two stores. I've been in business since 2017. It kind of goes. I mean, it just goes off of the goal setting. I think a lot of people get goal setting confused with like, just yeah, I want a Lambo. You need input over output.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you own a car factory, you build one engine a day. You have 10 tires made a day, and then 12 windows made a day. You can only build one car a day, right? Because you only have one engine. So instead of focusing on like the wrong things to build that goal, you really need to, make more engines, right? Uh, I mean, I don't know where I'm exactly going with that, but I just in my head it makes sense to where a lot of people they focus on the wrong things in their business. Instead of strictly downing on this customer here that needs a screen protector, a new battery, they don't sell them on that. They just try to get more customers in the door, right? So
Yeah, it's almost like they're putting the trying to figure out how to word this in a way that could be easily understood. So it's almost like putting the caboose ahead of the engine for a train. For
right,
my train analogy from earlier, you don't know where you're going, and you're hoping that by saying, "Hey, I need more customers," that's going to give you a better result. But if you don't know what the end in mind looks like, then you may not need more customers. Like you said, Josh, you could be like, okay, well, what's the intent behind getting more customers? Well, I want to make $100,000 more. Okay, so how do you make $100,000 more? Right? Like that's more focused on, engine focus to say, okay, well, what activities or actions do I need to take to earn that extra revenue? And oh, well, maybe I don't need more customers. Maybe I need to maximize on the opportunities that come into my door. Maybe I need to offer screen protectors. Maybe I need to offer accessories. Maybe I need to offer my own protection plan
yeah.
for that reoccurring revenue.
And you might ask yourself how you get there. So what we implemented last year, I was giving my employees bonuses anyways, but what we implemented last year was an accessory bonus. So, if they sold a screen protector, if they sold, a case, we had a tiered structure where it would allow them to make more money per month.
Yeah. Yeah, which is very incentivizing. I know for us, so one of the things that we did 2 years ago, and then I made an adjustment towards the back end of or Q4 of last year, was we did you get a base salary and then you get a production bonus. So we did 5% off the top line of everything that you did. Obviously through trial and error, I realized that there were individuals that were pretty much producing nothing, but still getting bonus off of that to where their base pay wasn't even covering what they were producing. And so, we made some adjustments to that to where now they have a set revenue target. And if they exceed that by doing additional things like, device sales, adding, add-ons, then they'll get then that percentage kicks in. And we did that on an individual basis, and it definitely helps.
So let me ask you, Nathan, since you have two stores as well, one thing I run into with the accessory bonus, say, incentivizing them that way is I have a front desk and then I have a tech. And so obviously the tech isn't going to be up front selling. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So how do you combat that in your opinion?
Make it a part of the process, make it a part of the check-in process. So like for us, we have it as built in. So we have we use Repair Shopper as our CRM tool, and so or our PSA tool. So we have a checklist that they go through, like a pre-repair inspection, to where even if the device is not in a condition that we can test, they still check a box and say, "Hey, unable to, are we able to test it? Yes, no. You know, are they getting accessories? Yes, no." And building out a simple script. A lot of accessory sales, can be easily acquired by just simply asking. Having that conversation, say, "Hey, so, what do you think would happen if you were to drop your phone and break it out, after it gets repaired?" Well, that would really suck, and I'd probably yell at you. Okay, well, to help prevent this from happening, how about we just get a screen protector on there? It's an additional 34.95, comes with a lifetime warranty. Talk about the values and benefits. But realistically, we built it into a part of our process. Just like our rush fees, we sell rush fees to a lot of our clients where they can skip the line and get looked at immediately. We tell them, of course, it's going to take up to 24 hours before you hear back, but we build that into a part of the process, and we tell every customer, "Hey, look, you have now that you've agreed to check your device in, we have two options. Option A, you're going to, it's going to take 2 to 3 days before you hear back from a technician. Option B, and for an additional $100, you can skip the line and get looked at immediately. And even if the customer says, 'Oh, I don't want to do that,' look, that's perfectly fine. Just know that if there is a delay in your repair, it's because somebody else paid a rush."
Right.
And I mean, just last week, one of my stores, she sold like 8 rushes. That's $800, right to
Yeah.
the bottom line. And for rush fees, I incentivize that to my salespeople. I give them 10%. They sell $100, I give them $10. And I used to set team goals where, based off of how many reviews the store gets, we split it across the team, how many accessories, SSDs, so on and so forth. But what I learned through that, at least for my team, was that there were a lot of folks that some people don't even care about making money. They do the job because they love to do the job, and that's not what incentivizes them. But there are other people, like salespeople, who love making that commission. So I
I need to find
heavily,
those employees that just want to do the job.
hey, you can't have them, but Anthony, who you talk to all the time from our team, yeah, you can't have him. But
No, you can tell he loves it. I mean,
he loves it.
yeah, he's a genuinely
Absolutely.
nice guy. Yeah.
So that's
But
kind of what
no,
I
I
do.
had a question, Nathan. You were talking there on the. Do your technicians get upset that your sales staff makes the commission on a rush fee versus them when they're the ones doing the work?
No, because they're getting incentivized based off of the work that they're doing.
I got you.
So yeah, it's the next device that they're taking a look at, and they don't get frustrated with the fact that they don't get a piece of the rush fee itself. They get frustrated with the fact that they have to do another rush fee, another rush device, and their queue's getting backed up. That's mostly where the frustration comes from our team, because a lot of it's focused on, especially because we do computer repair as well. So, we look at additional things like, hey, do they have 16 gigs of RAM? Do they have antivirus? Do they have this? Do they have that? How's their battery life? Like, let's go through this entire checklist to see, what is it that we can do to not only maximize on this ticket, but also promote the fact, how can we add value to this customer's experience, and how can they leverage their device to last them as long as it possibly can? And as long as they're following that checklist and that process, then their average ticket value is high. And at that point, then they'll hit their revenue goal, and then they can get bonused off of that. And, it's interesting because if you have somebody, technicians who I'm like, hey man, what's going on? They're like, oh, nobody's asking. And then I'll hang out in the store for a day or two, and you know, and I'm like, hey, you know, it's strange you say that nobody's saying yes to it, but you're not even asking. And I'm like, how about we just do this? You know, how about we just practice this for a little bit and see what happens? And then next thing you know, they come back and they're like, oh, you know what? You were right. They said yes to it. Like it's very, you know, it's a very simple process. And I think another just quick nugget that I have been str struggled for a little while because I didn't want to have to keep retraining people is I don't know if you guys ever heard the phrase slow to hire fire fast. You know, that's definitely true. We have for us at least, you know, we have a pretty interesting um, hiring process where, you know, they submit their application and then within 24 hours, they have to call and leave a voicemail. If they don't leave a voicemail, they don't go into the next phase. After that, they do you know, we do a quick Zoom interview. It's 10 to 15 minutes where I just go through their resume. And really, what I'm looking for is, you know, are they going to show up with their video on or video off? You know, if they're video off, I'm not even going to proceed, even if they're the most qualified person in the world. If their video's on and they're professionally dressed, then great. They move on to the next phase, which, you know, we do a technical assessment. And we have like a baseline where, hey, at minimum, if you're looking to get into the tech, you should know a little bit about it. And, you know, as long as you have that low grade, then you move on to the next phase, which is the one-on-one interview, which is about an hour and a half long. That's more of the deep dive interview. And then if you do good there, then you do what's called a shadow day, where I'm going to pay you, you know, for 4 hours to come in and work side by side with the team, or at least shadow the team for a day. That way you can see what is the day in the life of the job or the role that you're looking to do. How is it being around our team? And it also gives my team an opportunity to provide their input into this individual because ultimately, at the end of the day, they're the ones working with this person, not me. And so, you know, they can make it all the way through to the shadow day, and the team is like, dude, he sucks. And I'm like, okay, we're not going to move. You know, we're not going to proceed. So allowing them to have that input into who they're surrounding themselves with helps as well because it allows them to, you know, be able to motivate each other because they have that circle of trust built out to where they could easily call each other out and not get butthurt over it. Um, that's something that, you know, we do as well. That's been very beneficial, and I think we're up to, in total we have 12 employees, and I'm hoping to bring on, you know, two overseas, one stateside this year, one or two stateside this year, maybe a contractor. Not sure yet. We'll see how the year or where the year takes us.
Not to sidetrack it too much, but somebody asked on Facebook, Quincy Hall did, we were talking about tempered glass and screen protectors and stuff. They said, what do you do whenever their screen actually breaks with the screen protector on after you've sold them that? Because the pitch can have your clients assume that your screen protector is going to cover your, you know, protect their phone.
Don't set that expectation.
Thank you.
Just like you know, waterproof iPhones. They don't market them as
Water
waterproof.
resistant.
Water resistant. But everyone comes in here and says, "Yeah, I dropped my phone in the pool, but they said it was waterproof." So
But I'll be like in mid conversation with just like normal people, and they'll be like, "Yeah, my phone's waterproof." I'm like, "No, it's not. It's water resistant."
if your phone was waterproof, I wouldn't have a job.
When it comes to the
what?
screen protectors,
Oh, all right, go ahead, Tony. I was just about to answer that.
thanks, I appreciate it. I mean, so yeah, we sell a decent amount, and the pitch is easy, right? It's just you talk about how great the product is, and you say, "Hey, look, it's not a guarantee that your screen's not going to break, but if you want the best defense possible, this is about as close as I can get you. Again, not a guarantee it's not going to break, but if you this is you doing as much as you can possibly do to protect it." And so you're just kind of letting them know it's a great product, however, not a guarantee. Then you take that straight into pitching a protection plan. So you sell the screen
Yeah.
protector and say, hey, but if you're really worried about this breaking, that's fair. It's just glass or it's just film, whatever. We also have this protection plan for X amount of dollars per month. And then so you sell both.
I was gonna
Yeah.
mention
And to
too,
add on to that,
if you have to, if your sales pitch for screen protectors relies that much on, preventing breakage, obviously that's what a screen protector is for. But like if your clients won't buy it unless it guaranteed will prevent a screen from breaking, there's companies like Cell Helmet that sell those screen protectors with those protection plans attached to them. As much as I love Akko and everything, some people are more apt to go for like a one time, this screen protector will protect my screen, but then also if it breaks, they're going to pay for my screen repair. And so that might be a good solution too if you just can't sell them on the glass itself and there has to be protection behind it. That might be a good option.
Yeah,
yeah,
so
and one of the things that I throw out there normally is and I teach my team this is uh look, I can't guarantee that your screen will never break. No more that I can guarantee a seatbelt would save your life in a car accident. But listen, it's still a good idea to put one on, right?
100%. Yep. Yeah, it's all about drawing parallels, right? It's the same concept when a customer comes back in, like, oh my gosh, you replaced this screen and it broke. It's under warranty. You should replace it. Like, no. And you draw the line between, look, let's say you crash your car and then you go to an auto body shop, they replace your bumper. If you take your car and drive it through a guardrail into a highway, are they going to fix it for free? No. And you kind of laugh and they laugh and then they realize, wow, that was a stupid statement. And everything blows over. But you have to make it like you blow it out of proportion, but in a humorous way. And all of a sudden they're like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. And I mean it's worked 100% of the time for us. But you have to tonality is important. It's not just the words, it's how you say it. If you're like a prick, oh, if you crash your car, what do you think they're gonna do for you, huh? No, they're not gonna help you.
yeah.
It's all tonality. It's how so
Yeah.
a really important thing that I think a lot of shops struggle with is teach. First of all, you yourself should be a professional salesman. If you own your shop, you need to be a salesman through and through. Then you need to teach your staff how to be a salesman, how to speak. Tonality is more important than even the words you say. You have to be
Yes.
able to teach that. If you can't teach that, you are not a business owner yet. You're still learning, and that's okay. It's not an insult. It's good. You have to learn and grow from somewhere. But I firmly believe that if you own a repair shop, you should be a salesman. At a minimum, you should be a good salesman, and hopefully, you hire someone that's better than you at sales as
Yeah,
well.
and the biggest thing, yeah, I mean, tonality, like you were saying, Tony, tonality is huge, like in just in general communication. On top of that, when it comes to the sales aspect, a lot of people just like to be, spoken with, not spoken to, but spoken with in a manner that is more communicative, to where you're asking those open-ended questions and allowing the customer to draw their own conclusion that they want that product. You're not just talking to them in a manner that's like shoving that product down their throat. You're having a conversation and having those open-ended questions like, okay, what do you think is going to happen if you're, you know, riding your motorcycle and the phone falls out of your pocket and you don't have any protection? Oh, well, it's going to crack again. And well, would that be a good day for you or a bad day? Oh, it'd be a bad day. Oh, okay. So, wouldn't you say that getting a screen protector would be beneficial to you? Or, selling a battery, letting
Hey,
them know,
Nathan,
like, hey, yeah,
not to interrupt, but a perfect example of that, or in addition to that, is I've recently used instead of wouldn't that be, it's would you be opposed, or do you think it'd be a bad thing to have
yeah,
protection on your device? And they go, well, no, of course not. You're like, okay. And so they're admitting that it's not a bad idea. It's a good idea. You're 100% right. You're kind of leading them to the water, and
hmm
you're just like drink here, drink it, and admit that it's good, basically.
admit that it's
And
good.
yeah, and I think because what I learned is people love to buy, but they hate. Sorry, they love to shop, but they hate to be sold.
Yes.
And so they have to be convinced themselves that this is the right decision for me, that this is the right product. So if you're just like, and we have this, and we have that, and we have this, like the way we sell screen protectors so well, like we've had months where we actually did over a 100% attachment rate. It's so easy. In my opinion, we will, when we're pitching it, I'll teach my guys, grab one of each. So we have 3 to 4 different versions. Put them on the counter. Hey, we also have screen protectors. I highly recommend it, blah, 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 for X reason. Which one would you like? Their first question is not going to be, well, I don't want any of them. It's going to be, well, what's the difference? Why do you have 3 different ones? And so what they've done is they've now invited you, they've given you permission to pitch them. versus you're just like trying to sell. They're like, you mean it's kind of like you go to the mall and you're walking through and it's dudes go lotion, and you're like, hell no, get away from me. But if I walked up to them and said, oh, you guys have different types of lotion, now I'm not going to be annoyed when they talk to me. So same concept here. You're like, hey, I have these screen protectors. I highly recommend you choose one. Which would you want? I guarantee you 90+% of the time they're going to say, what's the difference? And you will
Yeah.
sell probably at a 60+% attachment rate. It is the simplest pitch of all time. They just have to be like, they have to feel like they are the ones making that decision. Like you didn't sell it. You basically just kind of presented the opportunity, and they sell themselves essentially.
I
Yeah.
mean,
They really
I
do.
always used to sell
Yeah.
them like the price for the repair is $150 or whatever it is. I have a screen protector for 30 that will more than likely prevent you from breaking it in the future. Is that something you'd be interested in? And 9 times out of 10 I got yes. But I always felt bad about selling those liquid screen protectors, and I'm not going to say any brand in particular because there's a couple of them. Because it's like, in my opinion, it's probably just rubbing alcohol, but they sell the insurance with it. So it was like, I felt bad. I'm like, you should probably get both, like a tempered glass, and then if you want the protection, we'll install the liquid screen protector on there. But from my experience, anytime we just sold the liquid screen protectors with the insurance, those screens broke just as often as without any type of protection on it. So
It's snake oil. It's bullshit.
yeah, and I think the
Hey,
the main thing, and what I was telling the owner of the store I worked for at the time, I think the main thing of selling those is they do have that type of protection where if they break the device, then they can do like some type of claim and get their money back for it, which is a great feature. But I think also people are taking advantage of that because a couple of companies just stopped offering that altogether because of the amount of claims they were getting. I think Protection Pro still does it, and Cell Helmet still does it, if I'm not mistaken.
yes, but
But
their prices have skyrocketed due to the amount of fraud. So yeah, it's just it's the concept is nice, but yeah, the problem is people will sell it as if it's like an actual screen protector. I mean, shoot, our local Verizon sell them for $60 still.
really,
It's an
Yeah, a
easier
little
sale
vial of
than just
glass
the
or oil,
protection.
whatever.
If
I
you
Yeah,
sell
they
it.
have
sell a
if you
little
have
$60
something to
vial.
hand them, it's gonna sell easier. So if
I
you
sell it as
hand
a
them,
combination. So I'll do Protection Pro along with insured gadgets and do that as a combination for $70. So then I'm only out like what, $15,
I like that.
and then they get the 1 year warranty on top of the Protection Pro. So
Yeah, as long as your margin is between 70 and 80% in accessories is fine. It works. That's really the goal. Like at the end of the day, like that's one thing this industry has really struggled with as a whole is people don't talk enough about margin. They just talk about some type of dollar amount. But in reality, retail, there are real numbers that have been just proven to be true over time. You can't sell accessories with a 50% margin. Like you're not, at the end of the day, it's not enough. Like you look at retail in general, accessories are typically Best Buy margins on accessories are like 80 to 90%. So I'm talking 70 to 80, which is more than reasonable. But when shops give away screen protectors, it makes me want to take this fork and put it to my eye. It's like, why are you just giving away all this money? And then they'll be on the groups complaining, hey, then anyone else slow, and anyone else broke. It's like, yeah, you gave away $4,000 last month. What do you think?
and when you
Like,
suggest selling something at a decent margin, they call it highway robbery.
right. But then they're also 3 days away from bankruptcy. So I mean, it's virtue signaling, and it's like you're not a real business owner at that point. Like all due respect, you have a lot to learn if you're a week away from bankruptcy, but then you're critiquing other people for charging a fair rate so they can actually pay their employees more than $10 an hour. I mean, that's what it takes. I don't want my guys to make 10. I want my guys to make 20, 25. I can't have them make $25 an hour when we're giving away screen protectors or doing repairs for $50. That's just like I think we all could agree everyone would want to pay their staff more. And
Yeah.
so
100%. That's the
people
only
might
way you're
do
going to
that.
keep your staff. You're only going to keep your staff if you keep them happy and their mouths fed, right? Like they're not going to look for other opportunities if they are happy and they enjoy what they're doing and they make good money to them, right? Like it's everybody's got a different
Yeah.
perspective on it. But I mean, if they're happy, you're providing and you're not just really an employer to them, you bring a better culture. It's like a double win there, right? For them because there's not a lot of opportunities for certain, people in our industry, at least, like people who like to do something with electronics, whether it be repair. Like it does take a special person to have an interest in this industry. So to be able to give them a place where not only they feel welcome, but they're doing a great job, you take care of them, and you're able to, see them, thrive, knowing that you're doing that for them. Like they look up to you as a leader. So if you're not leading and like letting them see opportunities and, you're just sitting there, not coming into work or not helping. Like there's just so many different levels to it, but like if you don't take care of them, you're just going to be in a constant churn of, employees coming in and out of the door. And I think that's
100%.
the biggest thing our
Yeah.
industry sees is employee turnover.
Well, and I'll
Yeah.
tell you, I would still be working at Geekmatics. I'm sometimes I talk to other people in the group and how they treat their employees. Like Nathan's a good example where he treats his employees really well and he pays them well. I mean, I've talked to several people like that where I was like, if Geekmatics did that for me, I would still be working there. You know what I mean? It's like, but it's just when you feel like you're not appreciated, you're not getting paid enough, you're overworked.
Hmm.
What's stopping you from just starting your own thing and doing it yourself? I tell anybody to listen, I'm a horrible business owner. I don't know the first thing about running a business. If my wife wasn't here helping me do the business side of it, I'd have already been sued by the IRS and everybody else, right? So, but what I like is being a technician. Like, we were talking about goals earlier. My goal is to kind of keep doing the same thing I'm doing, being able to work from home, making a good amount of money. But my long-term goal, as I don't remember what Nathan called it, but so the long-term goal would be figure out a way to do what I'm doing, but also retire from it as well. Like either not really sell the business, but having a team under me that is running the business while I'm, on a beach in Hawaii somewhere.
Yeah, you
But
mentioned a really good point there. That's something that again, I think we're kind of hitting a lot of key topics, but like another issue that I'm noticing a lot in this industry is people aren't able to identify where they're weak and where they're strong, and then just like appreciate that and deal with it. Like I like so like you, Dustin, right? Like you just want to fix stuff. Like in all reality, maybe your best option would be eventually you find someone that you can work with, whether you hire them or bring them on as a partner, and they kind of help with like the operations and help with marketing and scaling and maybe getting another tech who does like really really basic stuff, but you're just hammering away doing repairs, and then you kind of establish a business rather than if your business were like, I guess the easiest way I can think of it is if you don't show up to work and the business doesn't suffer, you have a business. But if you have to show up to work in order for the business to make money or for the doors to be unlocked, like you have a business, but you kind of have a well-paying job. And that's fine, right? Like it's not like it takes 2 months. It's a long process to get to the point where you have like an actual business where, hey, I can not show up to work today and we're gonna be okay. Like right now, I have buddies who work for someone else, and they work 40 hours a week. They make more money than me, and they get 5 weeks of PTO a year. They have a way better life than me. Like they're like, all right, we're gonna go to Miami for the week, and I'm like, oh, cool. If I did that, life would be tough. They're like, oh yeah, I'm still getting paid by $2,000 this week, and so that should be like goals for us, right? Why are people working 30, 40 hours a week, making more money than us who are working 80 hours a week? Like there's something wrong with our process. I think it's like evaluate where you're hurting, identify your strengths, focus on your strengths, and then hire someone to do the crap that you're not good at, basically.
yeah, I mean, and I agree. I just need to hire somebody to figure out how to retire.
Easy, easy, easier said than done, right?
Yeah,
At least you
exactly.
understand, right? Like a lot of guys seem to not understand that, and they're like, "Oh, I've talked to 100, 200, 500 shops at this point who are like, well, I'm never going to hire again because no one's ever going to be good as me, and someone and they're going to screw up and they're going to mess up something and they're going to steal from me." And I'm just like, dude, how do you think any of these other companies that you use in your daily life did it? You think Jeff Bezos runs Amazon by himself? Like, yeah, like failure's going to happen, pain's going to happen, theft is going to happen, dissatisfied customers are going to happen, but there's no other way around it. You have to build your SOPs and learn, and you're going to make mistakes, and then you should deal with it, right? Like you just be a better company. But the whole like, oh, I've been in this business 18 years and I'm never hiring again. I'm like, that's to me, it's sad. Like, because I know you want more than that. Like, I know you don't want to work 80 hours a week to survive.
I think the problem is we always come back to the fact that majority of this industry the mentality or how people got into this, it's still a hobby to them. Half these guys are not real business owners. I'm not
Exactly.
trying to
I'm not a real business owner.
I'm not,
I get
yeah,
it.
I mean, just like you said, I'm not picking or poking at anybody, right? Like most of us are not truly qualified business owners in the
Yeah.
respect of what we're doing, right? And I think that's what sets it apart, right? Like that's
Speak for
where
yourself.
the hard, the harder it is to the trust factor. And that's
Yeah.
where that becomes, it's because it's so near and dear to them. They've built it, and it's because it was their hobby that they were passionate about. You're passionate about it more. Bezos wasn't passionate about books. He wasn't, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's not, you have to
That's fair.
disconnect yourself. You have to take the emotion out of it. Like, that's the only way you're going to be able to grow and move past it. Like, you have to take the emotion away from it and keep moving forward because otherwise, yeah, you are going to continue working for yourself forever because you have to break apart the thought of I can't trust this person. Yeah, like you said, Tony, like you are gonna feel like people are gonna burn you. It's not a perfect world. I mean, people are gonna fuck you over, but then you implement stuff like Nathan with your interview processes, how you're doing it and how you're onboarding these people and bringing them in and ensuring you're getting the right people for the job to begin with. That's a whole different
Yeah.
sector as well. Like where's your hiring pool coming from? Maybe you don't have an area or a market that has a great pool to pull from, so you are limited with what you have, available to
Local
you.
jails.
Probably not the
So,
best, but
hey, there might be grants for hiring people out of jail. I don't know. I mean, hey, there's opportunity everywhere, guys. You could probably get grants for hiring felons to do basic work. I don't know. But,
People don't trust non-felons. Do you think they're going to trust felons? I mean, but I think kind of what you said, you kind of hit it right on the head. Is that the bar to the entry level to this kind of field is so low, right? And there's not really anything limiting you from just joining and buying a screwdriver and buying an iPhone screen and saying, "Hey, I fix phones now." So I think that's how a lot of people get into it, is because, like you said, it's their hobby. It's something that they've always been fascinated by electronics, and then when they realize they can make 50 to $100 in the matter of 20, 30 minutes, then a lot of people want to hop on that and keep making that type of easy money, and then they just kind of they grow into that. But like you said, they're not really business people, just like I'm not really a business person. I'll say it, said it before, I'll say it again. If my wife wasn't helping me do everything on the business side of it, I would be failing right now in my business instead of being where I'm at. So kind of like what you said earlier, is hire somebody. If you're not good at a certain aspect of business, hire somebody to do that for you, because it's not like you're going to be an expert in that part overnight.
one of my
And
favorite
honestly,
sayings.
just to add on real
Okay.
quick, or just to add on to that real quick, you never want to be the smartest person in the room. I know for a
Yep.
fact we didn't get where we were at because of me. Like I have a well-established team around me that is a hell of a lot smarter than I am in many aspects of the business, but I want it that way. I want to be the dumb one in the room.
100%. Yeah. You got
That's
Dustin
why I
over
like the
there
expo
being
so
like
much. I love the
depressed
expos
that he's
because
the smartest guy in his
no, I'm
business.
not. I'm in my business. Yeah, 100%. Right. But that's why that's one of the reasons why I love the expos, because you go there and it doesn't matter which expo, really all of them. Right. And you go there and you meet with a bunch of different people in this industry, like Tony and several other people that are
Baker.
doing very similar to what you're doing. Yeah. Okay. You know who I meant. And you just, you hear their ideas, what they're doing with their store. Like last year I was talking to Nate Miner, and he's doing really well with his stores, and he was just kind of describing how he grew. Like he did the kind of B2B micro soldering like I did, and he just kind of grew from that. So that's what now I'm ranting, but that's why I like the expos, is because you're in a big room full of the people, of like-minded people, and there's just so much to learn from them.
Yeah,
And that's kind
100%,
of why I
dude.
like these calls too.
If someone's watching or listening now or months from now, like if you're not going to expos, like prioritize it. Like genuinely prioritize it. Like go to at least one or two a year if you haven't been. Like it will change. If you've never been, you have to go as many as you can this next year. It'll change your life. Like
No
100%.
question.
you can shut your
Yeah.
store down for 2 days. You'll be fine.
Yeah,
Yeah, no
It
question.
will
I will
change your life.
definitely stand by that 100%. I mean, and I've been to, I started going to shows in 2013, And that's how I have met so many people, and I've grown my network in general with this industry is I went and met people, and then you start meeting people that those people know, right? Like, and that chain
Yeah.
reaction just continues to happen. And don't get me wrong, a lot of times it's just repetitive stuff, right? But it's an opportunity to go hang out and be around some
Play
peers
blackjack.
that you're just chat. Yeah, that play blackjack.
Well, and I've
Hey,
said this
hey, hey,
before, and I'll say
hey.
it again. I don't go to the expo for like the expo part of it, right? I mean, yeah, that's cool. Like the station or the vendors there are cool. You get to meet some people, but
Go to
really
see me,
the main
bro, for
point of the
sure.
expo it is get to go drinking with a bunch of people that are also there, like people that you talk to online. Maybe you haven't done business with them yet, but you've just talked to them a couple of times. You get to meet them. You get to go out with them. I mean, I will never forget. Josh Lewis isn't on the call anymore, but I'll never forget the first expo in Atlanta where Josh got so drunk, him and his wife, along with a bunch of other people, went into the strip club, and his wife was throwing more ones than we were. I mean, like Josh and I will always be friends because of that night, right? And it's so that it's just like kind of like Tony said, if you haven't been to an expo, it's 100% worth going to. I mean, you make one connection, and that connection, if you make money off of them, you've already paid for the expo, right? So
Exactly.
A
it's
hundred
a
times
hundred
over.
percent worth it. Exactly. There's no question. I mean, I've met several different connections at these expos where it's like these guys, if they were my only clients, I would be able to survive off of. You know what I mean? So it's I can't tell you enough. Go to these expos; they're worth it.
Dude, I'm
Yeah.
so happy that I'm not the only one that had that kind of memory with Josh Lewis. Oh man.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not saying go to all of them, obviously. I think there's, depending on what you're looking to gain. I mean, obviously at this point, GRE is the main one for our industry, but
Bro,
there's
go to
other
all of them, bro.
opportunities. Yeah, I mean, there's other opportunities, and
All of them.
depending on what you're looking to do, like you were
Yeah.
just asking to go CES, like what CES is a wild experience, and be prepared to walk your ass off because it's all across Vegas. It's not even just one, two, three hotels, the convention center. It's literally you have to take shuttles to get to certain parts of Vegas to get to
I
these
didn't know
other
Yeah.
that, bro.
areas. It's insane. So like
I'll
I've
be
been to
there.
CES like 3 or 4 times, but like I've only went to the show once because of that. And I was like, just like
That
you're
doesn't
saying, like
sound fun at
I
all.
I went to hang out with people who were going. We just went and we did other things. We had meetings, we met with people, we went out, whatever. But like since everybody's there, you take that opportunity to go meet them in person or go hang out with them because you know they're going to be there. You're not necessarily going for the show. So,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly. I remember we had dinner at one of these expos. I think there was like 50 people at this dinner. Like we called and made a reservation, and all these other people showed up. I think we took up like half of the restaurant. And I mean, there's no way you can network with that many people at one time, but it was just
You
so
talking
fun to
about when
have
we
all of
went?
these
I'll
people.
go to Chow.
Yeah, Fogo de
I don't remember
Chao when
that.
we went with
Yes, I think that's what it was. Yes.
PLP. Yeah, there was like 100 of us
Hell
there almost, I feel
yeah. Hell
like.
yeah.
Yeah, it
And
was
then
a
POP's
lot.
like, hey, here's the credit card. And we're like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we
I
were
think
all
what,
running out the back
$40,000
door.
dinner or something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
it
no,
included the booze, so I mean, it
that
wasn't
was a
cheap,
lot.
but
That was a
they
lot.
have, they have plans because like we took people to some too. So it's like they have like little like tiers that they'll sell you on, but like yeah, it's crazy. But like again, like you could spend that 3 hours sitting next to somebody you haven't met before that you find out could be a perfect opportunity for you to do board level work for. Maybe they know somebody that's got a plug on something that you needed help with. Like you just never know, and like you wouldn't have made that connection had you had not went to that dinner
Hmm.
with somebody because they asked you. Like there's just endless
Prime
opportunities. I
example.
feel like.
I sat next
Prime
to
example.
JJ Brown, bro.
The last,
Great. It was a great.
I met
I talked to
Adam.
him for 3 hours straight up at that Fogo de Chao. It was crazy. Yeah, I met
Adam and
Tony
I hung
or
out there. Yeah,
met Tony. Yeah, bro. Remember
that was
that, of
fun.
course. Ruth Chris. Hmm?
But less impressive than Adam. But the last demo expo I went to, I met a guy. It's talked to him for like half an hour, just talking industry, just talking shop. Turns out he's an executive at a $3 billion company. It's pretty cool. Like no idea, right?
Vegas.
You're thinking you're just chatting to someone. He's like, yeah, here's my card. You're like, oh, you're actually like you're important.
Important.
You're
It's
important.
like damn, like okay, like would have never have met you before. Like you would have never have answered my email. Um, So I mean,
That's
yeah,
how I
you
feel
just
when I talk to
and
Sod from Mobile Centrics. I'm like, you're actually important, you know.
getting an audience with Sod is tough these days. If you get an audience, you're special.
You don't have his number? Come on, Tony.
Oh, yeah, I'm not saying we don't talk all the time,
Of course, he has his
but I'm
number.
just saying, dude, we actually talked
That-
on Christmas Eve. It was like 2 p.m. He's like, "You busy?" I'm like, "I'm actually not." So like, let's talk on a Zoom
unless
call.
you're talking to him at 3 a.m. Don't
Literally,
even,
yes.
no
He messaged
brag.
me at like 4 in the morning, and I was like, I'm like, "Oh yeah, Chinatown. You're in Chinatown." I'm like, "All
Yeah,
right,
no, it's not even Chinatown, bro. They just don't sleep.
no,
They are a different operation. Like we would work till 3 or 4 in the morning, but like come in at 3 or 4 in the afternoon sometimes. So like it does kind of offload it, but yeah, it's a whole different world of operating that way. I mean, yes, China time in a sense, but I think it's like it kind of works with the repair industry. If you think about it, a lot of these guys, a lot of shops aren't opening until, earlier, late morning, and everybody's kind of catching up. So they're not really hearing shit until like noon, 1, 2, and then people
true,
start
yeah."
piling in.
Yeah, that's why I started my work days much sooner now. Like, I start my work days now before I used to ever wake up. And it's so nice to get a few hours in without anyone messaging you. It is changing. It's very nice. I'll say that much.
All right, replying to a message, nobody's talking. Well, 4:30, we can wrap up. Tony's gone. He's not talking, so
That's why we need Tony. Like any awkward silence, Tony kicks in and be like, so GSM warehouse, here's what we're offering.
Listen,
no
hundred
longer
fifteen
have a
thousand dollars to hit
discount
my goal.
code.
No
Yeah.
longer have a discount code, but
I was like,
I make fun of Tony
he's
a lot, but I really do enjoy his company. Like he's a
oh,
good guy to talk to and
100%.
funny to be
He's a
around.
funny guy.
But he's so easy to troll.
yeah,
100%.
I smoked cigars with him in Vegas, bro. Another good example of how you can like network with people good in person. But
Yeah, I mean, it's just putting
the
faces to
cheapest
names,
prices
right?
though?
Hold
I'll
on.
have to see that
I don't
how
believe you,
nice.
Adam. Were you
I'll have to
smoking a cigar next to a blackjack table? Because I think you were glued to a blackjack table the entire time we were in Vegas.
nah, bro.
He was
It
just
was like
loaning
at
out
3
money
a.m. in
left
the
and right.
morning, bro, after everyone left. Like,
Oh, you talking about at the IG after party?
no, it was like 3 or 4 days after that, bro. I stayed in Vegas too long, dog.
Yeah, he was there for like a
Jeez. Oh
week,
yeah,
bro.
yeah. You were there well before too, weren't you?
Yeah, dude. No, I actually had to end up leaving early, bro. Vegas like sucked my soul out, bro, and like I had to
No, it
go. You
It'll
sucks your
suck.
bank account. The's a difference.
Yeah,
It'll
know,
suck your soul out after a couple
someone
days, but
sucked
it'll
my
suck
bank
your bank
account.
account after the first day.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
I
Where you
remember
guys
being
Too
at the
been?
bad I
blackjack
wasn't
table.
there.
I
is
was
that a
up like
beatbox?
how much was I up, Adam? I think I was up like 500 or 600, and then I got to the
The
point
flavor.
where I was so far down, my bank would not
Juicy
even let me
mango.
take more money out, and I was like,
Oh, the
Adam,
mango's good.
let me get $200.
Bro, no,
Damn,
it was like
Josh, maybe this
400,
should be an
bro.
AA meeting.
It was not
How much
200.
was it?
It
It
was
was
400 at
400.
least, bro. And I'm like, I
I
got you. And we
remember
just like we're
text.
tossing chips. Like,
I remember like hitting Adam up like maybe a week after I got back, and I was like, "My wife just told me I borrowed money from you at the blackjack table." He was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot all about that." I was like, "Can I pay you back?"
yeah, I
I've
was like, you already paid me back, bro. You good.
They're
I-
here.
I've definitely
I
been
could
in
have
the
double dipped, but I didn't.
I'm gonna hop
definitely
off,
been in.
guys. Our UPS driver just pulled up, so we have some work
This
to
is
do.
not an
You
airport.
better
Yeah.
go. Better run.
Goodbye.
See ya.
Bye, Benjamin.
Bye.
There's nothing more degenerate than like Venmoing people at 3 a.m. because you've hit your ATM limit for the day. Like, hey, bro, can I Venmo you or Cash App
It's
you real
like
quick because I need
dinner.
300
Yeah.
more. I'm hitting this time. I'm hitting. I
Yeah, bro.
know it.
That
I'm
was
down. I'm down 800, but I know this next hand is it. Like,
I
that
feel
reminds me of
it.
that. What was that?
Bro,
2 or 3 years ago, we went to this high limit slots room, and then you and Kevin did a
Oh,
$500. Everyone hit their ATM limit, and it's like, all right, $500, one spin, smack, everything's gone.
oh my God. That's
no.
Jay and Nick, when we were just in the Vegas at that last one or two last times we went in the States, like I feel like they burned through like 4 or 5K real quick, like just doing a couple
dude.
$100 spins.
Bro,
Let's be
Nick was
Yeah,
real
fucking
it
though.
goes
putting
so
through
fast.
$500 blackjack hands. And I'm like, bro, relax, dog, relax.
Hey, let's be real. Let's be real. Nobody ever spent as much as Obi in Vegas.
Yeah. He only
Like,
went to the strip club. We didn't even gamble. We only just went to the
yeah,
strip club. There
I
was no
remember
gambling.
we were at the MGM at that bar, and he just like pulled out a wad of hundreds from his backpack. It like gave everyone an allowance. That
Yep.
was hilarious.
I usually had to go to all of the events regardless because I was in charge of holding the credit cards because I was the only responsible one because strip clubs will take the credit cards and
You were the
him
DD or the
yeah.
DC.
Yeah, that's right. He was very irresponsible. Let's say that. Whenever it came to that, was his weakness.
Swiping everyone's cards, like fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
Yeah. I remember a
Max
time
limit,
that
max limit,
we
max limit.
the ATM machine was down or it was out of money or something. And like we were like literally pulling together cash and people like calling people. Like somebody pulled cash out of their sock. They had like money in their sock. I won't
That's
say
some
who it
real
was.
degenerate
Just
shit.
I,
Like
I, I
Some
won't
boob
say who
sweat.
it was to protect their name, but it was
Oh,
yes, it
I
was
know it.
wild.
Yeah,
wow,
yeah.
that's some
Definitely an
degenerate. Like
experience.
if you're up to the
There's not a
point where
casino
all of
Miami,
y'all
right?
have hit your ATM limit, that is God telling you, go home. Like
I've
stop.
never done that. Dustin, remember
You haven't. I feel.
when Nick split like four hands, bro, and he hit blackjack on all of them in a row? Remember that, dude?
No, there was a point in Vegas where
We have
I
a
was
picture. I'll
just
send you a
too
picture.
drunk. Like, yeah, I do remember taking a picture of something, and then the people at the dealer was like, "Hey,
They
you
were
can't
like,
take pictures," and we were
yeah.
just like, "No, but look, this is crazy.
Our
We have to
biggest
take a
win.
picture."
All
Yeah,
I know is at GRE, I'm gonna be going. I think Adam, we're gonna have to go to the Hard Rock Hotel and
Ooh. And
do
what?
some little degeneracy.
Okay.
like
I
float me
mean,
1,000. Come on,
I don't know, bro. We saw how much money you made, and I just don't want we
For
I'm
real,
not in your
man. Making
league,
us look poor.
bro. Making
yeah
you guys look poor. I know you guys
we
do
don't
bigger
want to
numbers than that. Come on.
yeah, we don't want you whipping out them Benjamins or we're just dealing with some Lincolns and stuff, you know.
No, man. I hate. I'm not one to ever post my numbers, but when I saw like that in 2024, I was like, holy shit. I'm proud of myself. That's the most money I've
Hell
ever
yeah,
made, and so it
Dude,
was
that's really
something
good,
like,
man.
dude. For someone who
yeah,
who says he's not a businessman, you're heading in the right direction. You're doing really really well, and it's only gonna go up from there.
I work
So it's
from
exciting.
home, bro. Like, I mean, come on. The main part I think you said earlier, customer service is where it's at. Like if you can make your customers feel that like they're important and and that you're paying attention to them and you're communicating with
Communication.
them and you're doing everything that you can for them, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to leave you, even if the price is better. I can't tell you how many times a year a new micro solderist comes up into the groups and offers B2B for probably half of what I do it for. And my customers, or at least, the ones that have been with me for a while, they're still loyal to me. And that I think that kind of attests to what you were saying is customer service and communication is where it's at.
It's
If I
huge.
started,
Yeah.
yeah, if I started not replying to my clients for hours or days at a time, then it would be, we're looking at a completely different story, but damn, I respond to please bros faster than some of these guys respond to their actual clients. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised how, actually, no, you wouldn't be, but you would be you'd be perfectly correct if you were to guess the average response time the shops have for like inbound leads. Like someone went on their website, get a quote or emailed them. Dude,
1
a
minute,
lot of
36
shops don't.
seconds
Hour plus
I would say
for your
50 plus
shop.
percent of shops do not even respond same day.
yeah.
That's
so
Like,
crazy.
let me ask you,
What?
like
are
it's
you talking
bad.
about from
I would
my
agree.
repair app,
No,
B2B, or are you just talking about like in
In
general?
no,
general,
like
the entire
B2C, like
industry.
yeah, like so before my repair, I did consulting, and I don't know how many shops, over 100 shops I spoke with. I did mystery calls and all that stuff. Over 50% ish, like next day would respond. There was a probably 20% that never respond to leads. Like
Wow.
I left voicemails 30 plus percent of the time. Never got a voicemail returned. And what would
No
make
one
me
checks their
so angry, and
voicemail,
it's why
bro.
I get so fired up about it. I'll see that same person days, weeks, months later on the groups going, "Hey, is anyone else slow?" And I'm just like, you are the reason
You
why
know
you're
what?
slow. Like
Jason
you
Bain
are at fault.
has
Look, you
a
can only
really
help people that
good.
want to help themselves, bro. That's it.
The
I want to
industry
say
started.
Jason Bain has he has
What'd you
like
say,
some
Lee?
great cold calling where he calls his competitors, and he
Yeah.
has like his own script where he calls his competitors,
Yep.
figures out what they're charging, and I mean he breaks down their responses so well. I wish he was on the call today just so he could go into it a little bit, but eh, I feel like Jason Bain is probably one of the better business men in the groups. Like just
He's
like
really good.
every time he comments, it's like a book. You have to go grab popcorn, right, to read his
Yeah.
full comment. But each time I
Very
read it,
helpful.
it's like, all right, yeah, exactly, super helpful,
Oh,
Yeah.
well thought
Jason
out.
Bain is what you said. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, Jason
Yeah.
Bain.
Yeah. I give
How is
all
he
my
gonna hop
guys a
on and be
script
like,
that I
speaking
made.
of
So
me?
we made a script where I made it with 5 if this and that scenarios because those are like the most common things when people call in, and chances are they're gonna either ask one of these top 3 things, and then these are their top responses. It's so easy. Like people overcomplicate this business. It's like, dude, 90+% of your customers when they call are just gonna go, "Hey, do you fix X? Great. How much is it? And then can I come in today?" Like those are the top 3 questions. And it's like people are like act surprised, like, "Oh, I wasn't ready." I'm like, what else are people asking you? They're not asking you anything
I
else.
wasn't ready
You
for
get the same
business.
question.
Fuck.
Yeah, you get the same question 20 times a day. Hey, how much do you fix my iPhone? They're like, "Oh," like you would not believe the amount of shops we've mystery called, and they'll put you on hold for like 3 minutes to come back and say, "Okay, iPhone 11 screen repair." I'm like, "Good Lord, dude, you must have fixed 5 today." The fact you don't have it memorized blows my mind. First of all, like,
That's scary, really.
and they put you on hold. I'm like,
Yeah.
why am I on hold? You should be like
Yeah. If
breaking
I
down
get put
my
on hold, I'm hanging
barrier.
up. Hanging
Yeah.
up.
You
They'd
got
be like, "Oh
10
yeah,
You
seconds,
know,
bro. I'm
Tony,
absolutely."
on
that's
hold.
funny that,
You got 10 seconds,
we were
bro.
actually talking about this, Tony. What was it, a couple of weeks ago in another session about how easy it is to build scripts for like to train our sales staff
Yep.
because of, I mean, it's not complicated. It's so easy. I don't care what scenario you throw at, like I've got to, like, it's the same script. I'm just trying to get you in the door.
Yeah. And even if you don't know the price, and even if you like don't know if you have it in stock or you guys are even like gonna fix it,
Come
it's
in, we'll
so
give you a
easy.
quote.
Dude, just chat GPT this crap. First of all, like literally
Yeah.
100% of everything you can chat GPT at this point. Just be like, "Oh yeah, absolutely, Mr. Customer, so happy to look into that for you. Definitely can help you out. Bear with me 1 second." And the entire
Oh,
time while you're saying that, yeah, you're already actively looking for the answer, right? You're already kind of like looking around. So you're like, "Oh, I'll happily help you out. Hey, just want to confirm a couple of things with you, blah blah blah," right? Like, besides that, experiencing other issues, right? Is it just the glass, or is there any ink on the screen? You kind of like use their language, and they're like, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah," and then because the thing is, every other person they're going to call is not going to do that. I would tell you, 95+% of repair shops respond with, "Oh, the price, yeah, here it is," and then they just wait for the customer to continue the conversation. So if you are anything better than that, you will already convert the customer. Just be conversational
yeah.
and have a damn conversation with them. They just want to talk to a human,
Tone,
and it's
Yeah. And
tone.
so easy.
and the
Oh,
easiest too is like if you have to go searching for the price, like, I mean, we have our prices posted underneath like internal documentations. And one of the things I teach my team is like, hey, if you have to go look for the price, talk to, hey, well, aside from this, how are you doing today? Like
yeah,
Yeah.
such a simple question, and you can't, like, I can't tell you how many times customers will tell me the same shit that they'll tell their bankers or their barbers.
yep.
Yeah.
Oh, people will
People
Yeah.
literally
tell
tell
you.
they'll spill their life stories because
Oh
in
yeah.
today's day and age, the human interaction is so rare. Everywhere you go, automation, this AI, that. Like, dude, I just want to talk to a human.
Dude,
There's a company I was
especially in
trying to get a hold
Florida.
of. Oh, sorry,
Dude, these
real quick.
old.
There was a company I was trying to get a hold of, and they do like $5 billion a year, or whatever the heck. They don't have a customer service line. You cannot speak to a human. They only have chat and email, and
That's
like
most of these larger
it
companies.
blows my
Sounds like
mind. It's like,
Facebook.
Yeah.
Amazon.
sounds like most companies. It's insane. You can't even
Facebook
talk to
will
them.
no. Facebook will call
If
you.
you
I
pay
have
for it,
many calls through
if you
support.
pay for
Yes.
the upper package. If you don't pay for it, GG.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's why I pay for
Yeah,
the verified because you will like you could chat with them, but they always want to call. They prefer to call rather than chat even. So, I mean, it doesn't make it easier because most of the time they're not very well
They're
spoken in
outsourced.
English. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. So, I mean, that's the downfall of it. But no, you're right. I mean, that's the key of it right there. I mean, they're not able to process that much. Instagram has zero support. Go try to get
Yeah,
support on Instagram. It doesn't exist. Even though they're owned by Meta, Facebook has support. Instagram doesn't. Like
crazy.
it does not exist.
You know what irks me more than that is shops that, especially shops that are not busy because it's a solo operator, but they have a an auto recording system, whatever that answered the
Oh
phone.
my goodness,
Thanks
yes.
for calling ABC Phone Repair. We'll be right with you. I'm like, dude, I would hang up, and I
Several
can
of my
almost
clients
guarantee
have
you,
that.
they probably lose so many customers. Like, I just want to find out. Like, it's the same reason why a lot of people don't call stores and why they go on the website and hit get a quote. They don't want to like they just want to
No.
get an answer. And
The
people
thing
that go
is,
on the website don't
even
want to
if,
talk to a human.
Yep.
I
if
will
it was a
Exactly.
admit, now
robot,
I
bro,
will admit, our stores have an auto attendant. So we tested this theory for if we were losing out on customers. And 9 times out of 10, the calls that weren't getting through were all spam. And so
Fair.
I had to turn on my auto attendant. Otherwise, our phones would be just spammed with so many
Yeah.
calls.
Yeah,
Are you
if you're
signed up
busy in
for
a store, for
Google
sure.
Voice
Yeah.
Search today? Can I sign you up for Google Voice Search?
No, I think it's fair. Like I was saying though, if you're a
can you
solo
send me the
operator doing 3
confirmation code,
repairs a
please?
day, like I can't tell you how many shops I know they do like 5,000 a month. It's not, it's a side gig, and they're like, I want to automate my phone calls. I don't want to talk to my customers. I want to automate everything so I can save time. I'm like, dude, you do 2 repairs a day. You have nothing but time.
You have
You
to
should
be
you should be
exactly.
cultivating those relationships with your customers. So you should be spending
Damn.
30 minutes with your customer talking to them. You
Wow.
should be talking their ear off, become their best friend. And they're doing the opposite. Like, I'm trying to be efficient. I'm like, dude, you repair
You got
stuff
to
for one
start
hour a
somewhere.
day. You
Well,
got
a lot
time.
of these
Like,
guys,
build a
Tony, a lot
relationship.
of these guys are technicians. They don't want to talk to people, right? Like
And
Yeah. Yeah.
so they
and
should
that,
work for someone else.
The
That's the
same as
reality,
the
right? Like, I
customer
wish they
doesn't want
did.
to talk to them. The customer doesn't want to talk to them just as much as the technician doesn't want to talk to them, right? Like
so,
it goes both ways.
so that's,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
it's
that's
a
Honestly,
one thing
never-ending
about
cycle of
Florida.
them. Then
if a
it's
robot answered the phone, bro, and it was like efficient and it got me the answer I wanted and it booked the appointment, like I'd be there. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
different story.
So
Yeah,
I don't really give a shit if it's a person, but get me to where I want to be fast before my attention span like wanders. You know what I mean?
yeah. I
Yeah,
heard
I
one
get you.
recently. There was one where they had like 5 options, and to get a price on a repair was option number 4. I'm like, that should be number 1. Like,
Mm.
just make that the first
What the
option.
fuck
Because
was number one, two, and
that
three? Device
I feel
by
like
uh
one's the hours, two is
hours, yeah,
location.
hours and address. I was like, why? Like, they just want to know how much is it to, can you fix my phone and how much is the cost?
They're not going to
Like,
call and
that's
ask the address.
it's crazy,
Google
dude.
at
Yeah.
home.
You
If you're gonna have an automated system, the first thing should be, yes, we do fix phones. Like,
like, thanks for calling. We fix it. Yes, we do.
Contains peanuts or contains
And we do
nuts.
have the part in stock. Yeah.
do you guys
No,
ever get?
it's all
This is
relative.
You
such
know,
a
it's
side
funny.
note.
I had a guy who answered the phone one time, and a customer's like, "Hey, do you guys fix phones and shit?" And he was like, "Yeah, of course we fix phones and shit." It was so great.
That's great.
But yeah, I mean,
That's great.
for my auto attendant, we have, for sales or customer service, press 1. To check on the status of your repair, press 2. If you're a small business and need a support, press 3. That's it.
Fair.
All other callers, press 0.
If you're a scammer, press 5.
If you're a scammer,
Exactly.
dial 6 for Matthew. 7 for Cameron. You know Cameron's in jail?
Yeah, I just
Cameron
saw that.
Jones?
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
literally just saw a post. Somebody had sent me a screenshot saying that they got him
Yeah.
for $2,000.
I'm
I didn't
I'm
read
gonna
just wait like put him in jail. Good for him. Was it Gian?
yeah.
Oh,
He messaged me like a couple weeks before he got jailed, asking for help because his business partner didn't pay the rent for 6 months and he didn't know, and they're being evicted. And he's like, I need $20,000
What the
tomorrow.
fuck are you gonna
And
help
I,
him with that?
and I just went, no. I'm like, no, dude.
20
Like,
bands?
he's
Sorry,
like, I need it tomorrow. They're gonna evict me. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
yeah.
send the wire
I'm not gonna
info.
talk about that.
yeah,
Oh, but he's bonded out.
okay.
Yeah, I saw that. That on the screenshot it said bonded out, not in custody that I saw. But yeah, he's wild.
But that
And
doesn't matter. As long as
You're
he's
like, I
getting
just
charges.
moved.
Joshua Merritt needs to go next. Honestly, I'm so tired of that guy creating fake Facebook accounts. And the problem is he does it like every scammer should, right? He does good business for a month, the 2 months, and then he
Gives
builds
out
everybody's
Starbucks gift
trust,
cards.
and then he just freaking like, I mean, he Leonard's it. He like learned from Matt Leonard, right? And then he's like, that's what I'm doing. Yeah,
Post a
I'm
picture of
joking. I
him with
don't
his
think that's
bag
what
full of
actually
money going to the airport. Going to
going.
make a new business deal.
It's gonna fly into our new life wherever he lands on the
Hey,
dark
who
board.
has the best new name for a business? Comment below. I'll get you a $20 gift card to Starbucks. Oh my gosh. Scan this QR code to get a free drink. I remember those
Dude, I
days.
remember
And
I
then
was
all of a
buying
sudden, like the
MacBooks
next
from
day, he's
him.
like, "Hey, someone
Make
took
sure
all
to enter your card
$500."
information.
I remember I was buying MacBooks from him, bro, and like I was trying to close the deal. And he's like, "Yeah, bro, all AB, no MDM, blah blah."
Yeah.
And then the next day, like before, like I could send the money or whatever, and he agreed on the deal. He's like, "Yeah, my dad passed away, bro," and like he used that as like an emotional like leverage to like
Wow.
make me pay more or like I don't know. He's like,
What?
"Yeah, I'm smoking a cigar for my dad right now, bro. I feel bad," and I was
Is
like,
this the same batch that had to be sent to
Here's my
me to
Cash App.
verify that
"Yes,
like
bro, that's the
everything
same
was good?
batch.
Oh
That
my
was the
God, that
same
was
batch,
so
bro.
bad.
Was
Adam
that
Norman
AB or
had
what?"
no trust for it. I think it was AB. That batch was good. There was a few that I sent you pictures of, but
Bro, the
dude,
ends
that
were
was
all
such a
dented
bad
in,
situation.
bro. The ends were
Huh?
dented in. You couldn't even close it flat, bro. It's
I
not
sent you
AB, homie.
pictures, and I mean I don't remember the
He didn't
condition now.
ship
Honestly,
it.
I
He
just know
never
I
shipped
sent you
shit right.
pictures.
Huh?
I've seen he shipped stuff so terribly. I saw pictures of stuff that people were buying from him still after everything, and it was arriving like that. It wasn't pictured like that before, and it was arriving like that. It's just like loose in boxes. He wasn't even packing it well.
And
Crazy.
he changed the serial number so the iCloud could be removed. Because I tried to trade in one at Best Buy, and they're like, "That's so weird, bro. The serial number right here, it come up as clean, but the system flags it as an error. That's so weird." And I was like, "Fucking Matt Leonard, motherfucker, dude."
That's the one we were talking about.
He's like, "We can't
That's
reset this
Oh,
MacBook.
geez.
It's so weird. Never seen this problem before."
yeah,
I'm like,
So
yeah.
I
strange.
knew
Like,
it
really,
probably
you've
would have
never
said
seen
that.
it.
I was like, oh.
Imagine like a Best Buy worker goes, "Damn, bro, you got Leonard, didn't you?"
Yeah. There's like a
Oh my
picture
gosh.
behind one of the
Damn.
counters of all the
Like, yeah,
locations.
we
You see
heard of
this
him.
guy.
You know what when that whole shit first happened, I think like me along with half of the people thought like he's just going through some shit right now. Like
Yeah.
he's gonna bounce back. He's gonna be back to where he was. And then it got to be like a year. And you had, I'm not gonna name the people, but you had several people that were still owed, 6-figure amount of money or 5-6 figures. And it was just like, yeah, there's 1,000 paid here, 1,000 paid there. And then you hear about like even people in other industries, like the watch industry, right? Starting to call him out. And it's just like, oh my God, like he's literally just destroying his name as quickly as possible. And I don't want to sit here and speculate what happened, but I mean, if you've ever met Matt, he's always kind of been going through some type of health issue. I'm not making excuses, but I don't know, Josh. What do you think happened? I'm not going to speculate.
People that have that always have continuous health issues, bro, or either that's either true or they use that as like the gaslight. That's my opinion.
Bam. That's exactly what I was going to go with. As I've known him, I mean, obviously longer than anybody in the industry because I'm the one who kind of brought him in from meeting him when I sold parts. And yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna dive into a whole segment here, but like I heard about the health stuff, after about a year or so, but like it just seemed like too weird, right? Like how it was brought up, how it was, like just like what Adam said, it feels like it was used as a tool for empathy, right? And like make feel sorry for me, whatever. And like it would go in stages. It would align with other things of like, oh, I got to go blow a bunch of money because of this. And then he's like tying like, oh, I've got this
You see
issue
the
and then I need to go.
patterns.
Yeah. And it just always aligned with that. And that's why I never believed it at that point. Cause I'm like, it just doesn't, too much
And
backstory and too much stuff I saw at that point and like opened my eyes to like made me realize like it was a bigger issue. And even one of our early business partners when I had the portable battery company called it out and like said he's like, dude, he's 100% a scammer. And I stood with Max. I'm like, nah, bro. I was like, Matt, I trust this guy. I don't believe he is. And from there, I probably should have listened to the original guy and not spent, years wasted with it, but it is what
Well,
it
I mean, if
is.
you
And
remember, there was a point where people would call him out for selling MDM stock, right?
yeah,
Like, and this was kind of at the beginning of it.
like it was a
And
running joke. Yeah.
hundreds of people would like, you're a fucking idiot. Like, just contact Matt. He'll make it right. Like, you're a moron for even posting this.
Yep.
Right. And I mean,
Gaslighting the
there
hell out of
was
you.
Yep.
no comments of like, hey, Matt's kind of maybe in the wrong here. No, it was like,
Yep.
Matt's, just not available right now. He's a busy guy. You're an idiot. Right. And
Yep.
I mean, it was like I want to say 5 to 10 posts. And it wasn't all in one day. Right. It wasn't even all in 1 month. It just kind of progressively got worse and worse and worse until like the very end, where even the people that did a lot of business with him and trusted him were like, yo, Matt, what the fuck is going on here? And then I'll tell you, if it wasn't for one of my best buddies getting taken for 80K, I would still would have been like, man, I don't know. Matt's pretty good. Like, he's solid, let it ride type of thing. But it just, I mean, shit, he still owes that person not the full 80K. I think he's paid maybe 10 grand back or whatever it is. So 70K. I know he still owes several other people. I mean, to
It's
the point, I
over.
don't even know how the dude's breathing right now. I mean, I've
Bro.
seen posts for 20K,
Dang.
and people are like, I will take a trip for you. You give me a third of the profit, I will take a trip to go get your money back. Right. So I'm not sure how it's in these six figures where it's like, and Matt's still breathing. And I'm not, I probably shouldn't say more now on a live stream, but
I had to threaten him with
I
a
agree.
lawyer, bro. He was about to walk with the money, bro. From the deal that we did. Remember, Dustin, that you had a middleman or whatever? He's
yeah.
about to walk, and I'm like, I'm contacting my lawyer, and he's like, all right, that's fine. Just have him contact my lawyer, and then we'll hash it out. And then he sent me one more message, and I was like, yeah, I can no longer message you. You'll have to reach out to my lawyer from now on for further correspondence. And he's like, all right, bro, my bad. Like, give me your Zelle. And I was like, yeah, you little bitch, got you. Like, lawyer my ass. I didn't get shit.
Yeah, he's no lawyer
I had
for
to, I had
sure.
to play him. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I know
yeah.
people he owes over 100K too. Like,
Yeah, same.
still. So, I mean, it's
Mine was
like,
pennies.
I mean,
bro.
there's group
You know?
chats full of this. I mean, and in these group chats, it's funny because like once every couple of months they'll resurface, right? And they'll be like, "Hey, did you guys hear about this other industry where Matt now owes 100K, or this guy he's being called out for whatever it is?" And it's just like I get my paranoia gets up and I overthink situations. Like, if I don't ship somebody's phone back like the same day that I'm done repairing it, I'm over here like, oh man, that client's gonna be so mad. I can't imagine owing somebody even $1,000, $10,000. I would not be able to sleep. But yet he's over here working it in the large amounts and doesn't give a shit.
Well,
It seems like
promise you
anyway.
one thing. He will run out of luck one day. I promise you that. He
Oh,
will
it's ran
fucking.
out.
He will fuck. No, I promise. He will fuck over the wrong person, bro, and then everyone will be like, "What happened?" And there will be no more. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, no, I mean, 100%.
So back in the day, this is slightly not on topic 100%, but long time ago, I want to say 16 years ago, my oldest brother got caught into a scam by a guy who, long story short, ended up being on the FBI's most wanted list, and he had screwed over so many people out of so many millions of dollars that they actually pulled together money and they hired a mercenary to go find him. Because he had stolen like over $60 million from people, and they literally gave they hired a mercenary for like $1 million to find him, and that guy was able to track him to like some remote area in South America, and then like it was wild. Like this was like 16 years ago, so I was a little young, but like
Matt
it was
Leonard Sr.
crazy,
Yeah.
dude.
His
Right?
dad.
This guy was. It was
His
wild. Like
his
this
father,
guy
great
was like
grandfather,
I remember seeing the email. It was a group email. He's like responding with like, I went here and I could see its credit card state. Like it was hilarious, but like terrible but hilarious. Where like yeah, people will pay to kill you if you steal enough money, dude. Like
dude, 80 million though. That's damn, dude. Yeah,
Some Bernie
crazy.
Madoff stuff.
It was
Wasn't Bernie in
brilliant.
the
He basically
billions?
his biggest investment. He did multiple scams. One of the biggest ones was he convinced everyone that he owned like 1,500 acres of land down in Panama City in Panama, and he had like fake blueprints of his like design for building like a sprawling like subdivision. And my brother even had an attorney review everything. It's like, yeah, it's all legit. And flew down there. He drove him to the land and like walked through everything. He had to walk through like this was the most intricate scam ever. Turns out never owned the land. He was trespassing, but like complete like it was an abandoned like land basically. But he made it look like it was his. Got official blueprints made up, all that crap.
Hey, I don't mean to interrupt. Josh, pay attention to the computer. I'm going to switch to my phone.
Sounds good.
So There, as much as Matthew did, he's not that good of a scammer. There's better ones. Crazy,
Yeah.
but it is sad. It's very sad. Like if someone takes advantage of, I would say at a minimum, like of an industry where people are already kind of struggling to make it. Like it's not like we're getting filthy rich out here, and like you're preying on
Yeah.
people who are just like busting their ass to have a slightly above average income. But it is what it is.
And people wonder why Google banned our industry from doing ads.
Right? Because they saw Matthew. They probably saw our groups, honestly. They were on CPRST. They're like, nah, bro, we can't have these people on Google.
Dude, if they ever went like one message into RTD, bro, dude, they would ban all of our groups. Like,
I'm honestly surprised that Apple wants anything to do with us because I know they're on the groups, bro. They see all the crap of people trying to scam Apple. And they're still like, yeah,
No,
sure, we'll open it up to you.
Bro,
it's because the European
100%.
Union, bro. It's the European
Apple-
Union forcing that, bro. They would never have done even USB-C,
Sure.
bro, if they didn't have to. We would
No,
still
they
be on
wouldn't have
fucking
to.
Lightning, bro, on
They
the iPhone 16, dude. We would.
Hey, to be fair, USB-C are great. They are breaking more, and it's more money for us. It's fantastic.
Really? It's breaking more? I feel like a smaller connector with like a thinner connector would break more.
USB-C just has a lot more leverage on that middle piece.
Hmm.
Easier to break off that middle.
That's cheaper to replace, probably.
Yeah, I don't know, but
Probably all
easy money. My favorite, honestly, like we do a lot of 12.9 charging ports, iPads. We charge $200 and it's a $7 part. Get that job done in 20, 30 minutes and bam.
I'm just mad my 30 chargers laying around the house are freaking useless now.
Dude, just sell them. Do what Josh did.
Yeah,
Josh made his own
Throw
chargers.
in
What do you
packaging.
mean?
280
throw them in some
lightning cables. If anybody's needing some. I just want my office clean. I'm getting into like an OCD.
I just picked up like
Wanna clean it.
500 of the OEMs, bro, for $2. Someone listed it one time. I was like, I'm
Yeah,
taking that, bro.
those are Kevin Jalali fucking non-MFI,
Nope.
non-OEMs, buddy.
Fuck
Take them
Jalali,
to
bro. I don't know.
Ivan Below and offload them there. Be like, here's some product.
Dollar
They're
Tree,
OEM, bro.
non-MFIs.
Fucking
Here one apart
Jalali,
for
bro.
me. Here one apart right now on live. Let's see it. Let's see it. Dimitri
Wait.
James would be proud of you if you did.
Wait, what?
You don't know Dimitri. Sorry. You're too new. Dimitri's the
Well,
OG Apple OEM MFI lightning cable guy in the space. You look up Dimitri in the groups, you'll find some fun topics, I'm sure.
That's fun. Rabbit hole.
All right, folks, 5 o'clock.
My UPS just got
37 minutes
delivered.
past.
It's
See,
freaking
even
6
better.
o'clock my time. Every time I hop on
Yeah.
these dang calls, we're on the phone all night, and it's my wife is mad at me.
Yeah, sure. Blame us.
I'm lucky,
Yeah.
bro.
Clean the
My
kitchen,
wife's
Dustin.
she's right now replacing her charging port on her iPhone 12, so she can't get mad at me. She's the one working.
Yep. See,
That's
Tony's
big
got it
pimpin',
figured
bro.
out.
She knows how to do repairs. So, yeah.
My wife wants to get into this industry. I was like, no, you stick to
No,
accounting.
keep her far away. Keep her far away.
My wife's already in the industry.
That's
Oh my
funny.
Jeez.
Touche. All right. You folks have a
All
good
right, guys.
weekend.
Well, you have a good night.
Yeah,
Later.
you
You
guys as
set
well.
your goals that we didn't talk
Josh, thanks
about.
for putting this up.
GSM
Goals.
warehouse, guys.
Guys, tonight only at $65,000 until I reach my goal.
The cheapest prices in the industry, guys. Don't miss out.
Slide in the
Cheapest price in the
DM.
industry.
Yeah.
They're
Everybody
selling
gets a
out
discount.
already.
Everybody gets a discount.
No
No matter if you
discount.
without.
no
1 or
anymore.
100.
Yep.
I'm already
In the
sold out, but
coupon.
if you DM me, I'll get you more.
We
I
love
hope
you,
I get
Tony.
paid for this plug. I hope
Holy
you have Josh with
Fry.
an invoice.
Go to Holy Fry.
All right, I'm
All
out of
right.
here.
See you
Bye.
guys.
All right, guys. See ya.